ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to episode 60 of the Motorsport Republica podcast. We've got a little special guest, Mark, the Bandana Man Danby, on board with us today.
Number one ticket holder.
Yes.
Yeah, that's me.
Filling
boys.
in for
filling in today.
filling in for Daniel.
Best wishes to Pino, Daniel's old man, going in for an operation.
Yep.
So Daniel's looking after him.
Yes,
so.
best wishes for the La Familia.
Yeah, that's right. Stealing my joke.
Danby, thanks for coming on, mate.
All
really
good, boys,
appreciate
all
it.
good, all good. Bit to cover.
We've got a bit to cover. We've got Imola F1 that happened last night here, and then we've got some MotoGP news as well. So I just want to take care of some business at the start. We are proudly sponsored by MJ Trading Cards. MJ Trading Cards is a business that's online that reads out breaks, does NFL, NBA, basketball cards. Get on board, guys. We've got 15% off your first order with them. It's a great online community. You can catch them on Facebook and Instagram and obviously on their website as well. So MJ Trading Cards. While we're on that subject, we have a watch event here next Thursday, the 30th. $60 tickets. It's a big watch event. So get around. Grip Watch is organising it and running it for the night. There'll be food, drinks, and obviously some great networking for people as well. So we're going to have the 7 big watch brands here. So really excited for the night.
Very good.
Beautiful, yeah. And, you know, watches, cars.
Goes hand in hand.
Hand in hand, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Boys, Imola.
Results? Start with that, James.
He's buddy. He's just a guest and he's trying to run the show.
no.
Danby, come on, man.
These barking orders, I love it.
All right, Imola results. So we have Max Verstappen first, Lando Norris second, Charles Leclerc third, Oscar Piastri fourth, Carlos Sainz 5, Lewis Hamilton 6, George Russell 7th, Sergio Perez 8th, Lance Stroll 9th, and Yuki Tsunoda in 10th.
Mark, what did you think? What did you think of the race?
Look, I've been saying for a couple of years, they shouldn't have a race here. I mean, as soon as Dominicali got the job, the first thing he did was put this race back on the calendar. You know, back in the day before Senna died, it was an unbelievable track. But as soon as they put those chicanes in, those famous races, Tom, you probably remember them with Schumacher and Alonso, 05 and 06. They swapped over each year, but it was just follow the leader both times. And those cars were nearly a third of the size of what they are now back then. But look, the first two we had here was sport by the weather. As in, I think the first one started off semi-damp and got dry. Then the second one, or which way they were, maybe the other way around, was a full wet race type thing. It was on all this drama. And then last year got cancelled because of the floods. But, you know, look, I'm all for these historic tracks, but
It's a hard
racing.
one. It's a hard one.
It was almost like a preview to Monaco.
But we look at...
As in, follow the leader.
100%. And we have this discussion most weeks on bringing the old tracks back. Chicago street circuit coming along. We're thinking, geez,
Real Madrid, I think. Or Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Another street circuit. We want these classic tracks, but these classic tracks are tougher racing. You look at Hungary in Hungary as well. It's one of those... I mean, that's probably got 2 more passing opportunities than what we had on the weekend. So, seriously.
I think the thing with Hungary is because it's such a high amount of laps, it's because it's one of the shortest circuits. It's 76 laps or thereabouts, what it used to be. But, you know, it opens up between a 2 and a 3 stopper. And this is what we've always had exciting racing at the Hungary Ring because you've seen the 2 versus the 3 stopper. Here, as soon as they say 1 stop, here we go again. You know, I don't understand. I'm not trying to make it too contrived, but have mandatory 2 stops at places like this. Just straight out. If you bring in the
it's not a bad idea.
I think I might have mentioned this to you yesterday. If you bring in the C5 tyre to a racetrack, you must use that during the race. Guess what? It's only going to last 10 laps or 15, but it's going to create a scenario where you're going to get some overlapping with different strategies.
Yeah.
If you start on it, use it last, you know, because my biggest gripe about F1 at the moment is this one-stop racing. Liberty have come in, spend all this money, making it a big show, but we get one-stop boring racing. Mate, 2 stops. Somehow it's got to be 2 stops. And whether that's the tyres getting softer, I don't care how they go about it.
Yeah, it's hard. I don't think tyre wear is the problem. I think they've actually nailed tyre wear at the moment.
Okay.
I think having too much tyre wear, more marbles on the track, harder to pass as well. Like it just,
that's true,
and
yeah.
we've gone
Good
through that in the last 10 to 15 years, and the tyres going off the cliff, as they say. I was super worried after watching F2 sprint race and 1 pass on track, possibly. DRS seemed like it was
I think
just...
that was on the last lap too.
Yeah, the DRS just didn't seem like it was working. It's really it really tightens up into that first turn. Obviously, not being a big braking zone as well because of the chicane. We had some ideas last corner. We actually argued over ideas. I'm probably more along the lines of your idea of probably making a big hairpin. Karun Chan.
Yeah, funny. I heard his comment last
Yeah.
night. I was laughing at what I said to you yesterday. But look, that second Ravazza, which is now the last corner, it's just too fast. You know, they come down that hill. They've got the first Ravazza, the left-hander. Make the second one like a first gear, like almost hairpin against itself, because therefore you'll get alternate braking regarding someone might try the inside, the lead driver has to cover off, which he gets the wrong line out of the last corner, and therefore sets up a pass. And the other thing, if they're going to take one thing from last night, the DRS activate it sooner.
I know.
Bring
it was
it
so
in.
late, wasn't it?
It just anyway. Yeah, I've always been beefed about the last corner. Just make it tighter, because when they went back there and I saw these cars how much faster they were from when they were there 2006 last. I'm like, they're too fast through there.
Did they go there in '95, a year after Senna's death? And did they? Was there any?
That was the first year of the chicane.
So that was a chicane on the front straight, or was that the first corner they changed?
No, the first two chicanes where the Tamburellos are.
Yep.
So this new layout is only come in probably about 7-8 years ago. They had lots of Le Mans races there when they straight line, because it used to be a chicane onto the straight, if you remember.
And you saw it. It's still there actually.
Yeah,
They
you
still
can see a bit of it.
They probably still use it in some categories.
The idea was to straight line that.
Yep.
So get some passing to Tamburello. But as we've just discussed, the last corner is too fast. You can't get close enough. So, and look, I know Lando was catching him, but what was he going to do when he got there? There's no way he was passing.
I just feel like they could have done. They can do so much more with that track. They've got plenty of runoff in some areas. That last corner, there's plenty of room as well to change something like a tight hairpin. But then again, my argument with you was Yas Marina they changed for the better.
Yeah, they did, but that's, as I tried to, that was a bit of apples and oranges. Yeah, that's more, like I said, the two Ravazzas are two continuous corners slowing one into another, whereas the one at Yas Marina is now just a one straight left loop.
Where Verstappen passed Hamilton on the last lap.
As we discussed, that the year before that chicane was still there and he doesn't do that. It's just ironic how
it is ironic.
It's crazy how that panned out. But
yeah.
Look, the race overall, I mean, good to see Ferrari. This battle between Ferrari and McLaren guys. What are you thinking there? Like, Ferrari seemed to start the season. They looked like clipping the heels of the Red Bull there, but now McLaren have brought this upgrade and they seem to be the
real deal, almost.
Well, it seems though. I mean, they've got to keep it up. This is the key. I think the key is the development of these two teams. Who's going to keep it up?
I expected more from Ferrari on the weekend.
So did I.
I know they
were
finished
bragging about this.
Yeah, they finished third and fifth in the end, but like McLaren was easily, probably, I would say, the fastest car in the end of the weekend.
Yeah.
If buts maybes, like Oscar doesn't make that, holds up Hulk in the Q1. He probably gets the pole in the sense that Verstappen only got the pole because he got a tow from the Hulk.
Yeah.
So there's all these permutations, if buts maybe, so to speak, but quite easily could have been a McLaren front row. Who knows what happens then? But I don't know. Just they seem to, especially in the qualifying, they're like, it's only these last two races. Max has only got pole by a little margin from Lando.
It goes back to what we were talking about last week with Piastri versus Lando Norris, and we spoke about this on the pod. Someone said that Lando's a bit of a pretender and it's all about Piastri. Piastri looked fast, but then again, he comes down on that last stint after the pit stop, ruins the tyres in the first two laps, and then just doesn't get anywhere from there.
But that goes back to his penalty.
It does.
You're behind two Ferraris, a Red Bull, and your teammate, so you're gonna. Yeah. I mean, look. He's
had some bad luck. He has, and it will change. You just keep putting the car in the right spot, and you'll get the result.
And he's still getting like consistent top sixes.
It's amazing.
And a fourth. And he's only second. People forget he's only second year driver and
look,
young as.
Look, the guy's fast, 100%.
Yeah, of course.
But is he beating Lando over a season? That's the question here.
Not yet.
Well, that's I believe.
Yeah.
I get all these Lando fans out. They love him to death and want to brag like that comment last week that one of your fans made there, but. It's Lando by a mile. Like the China wet qualifying showed it. That's where a guy like a rookie like Piastri should be coming out in conditions like that and just putting it to the wall and saying, "Mate, I'm better than you. This is how I'm showing it."
With tracks like Imola though, it is hard to see a driver's potential because, as you said with Lando, he catches up to Max. What's he going to do? You're not going to see that shootout because the cars have just outgrown that circuit and so many other circuits at the same time.
I know that was the problem. I mean, we're going to touch on the commentary soon. I want to hear your thoughts on that, both boys. But like the commentators are getting so excited about Lando catching Max. I'm like, he's not going to pass him. You have to have.
They got to hype it up.
Yeah, I know they have to. You have to probably have a second and a half advantage there to have him be chance to have a pass.
Back to that 2-stop scenario.
Yeah.
You pit later, you get that tyre overlap. If you got tyres 10 laps younger. I mean, look. I thought the funny thing last night was, Perez was just in reverse.
Yeah.
And then he puts those tyres on. He was passing
watch.
people. Yeah, but that came back to his bad quality, James. Like,
Still.
I just think
Fraud
they
watch.
left him out too long. I'm like, he was going so backwards. I'm like, then they finally pit him, and then he's going forwards. Like,
Yeah, Ferrari left Sainz out one lap too long as well, so they should have pitted him straight after Piastri pitted. I don't know, understand why they did that. I didn't know they didn't go any longer. There was no tyre advantage there. That's what I felt. But yeah, I mean, it was just such a predictable race.
Yeah, and what's the commentators going to do, Tom? Like, they're going to go, oh yeah, Lando's catching, but guys, just remember, he's not going to pass. Like, his cars just aren't built for this, guys. Might as well just turn it off now.
Well, it was interesting. So we'll get onto the commentators now. What did you guys think of obviously Karin Chan? I don't mind Karin's. He's got
good insight.
Good insight.
Yeah.
And we know how hard that job is, and Crofty doesn't make it look easy. But Harry Benjamin on debut,
It's always hard, no matter what sport it is.
Yeah.
As soon as a new person goes in, they're always going to get crucified. We've spoken about this a few times as well. I think there's been a few over the years. There's been a few good slow transitions, and this is what they're probably doing. And you get the audience used to listening to that newer voice coming maybe once every 10 rounds, once every 6 rounds, once every 3 rounds, whatever it is. But as soon as you hear that new voice, people just wired. They like consistency and they like hearing Crofty or Brundle or whatever it is. But they can't do it forever, and I think this is just their time.
I personally think they did a great job, and it was hard at the start because Karun had he had technical difficulties. We couldn't hear it. And I'm like, if I'm in Harry Benjamin's seat right now, I'm the formation lap. I'm my first race.
He's going to do a Rusty and commentate the whole race by himself.
He's probably thinking that he's freaking out. You can tell in his voice like he's trying to get everyone going, but. He did a great job. All the comments, again, is what you just touched on, alluded to before. This is why we need Brundle and Crofty. It wasn't the same without him, blah, 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 blah. That was all the comments. And I think credit where credit's due. I think they did a ripper job.
For sure.
And you're right. You need that slow transition.
Yeah.
Because...
you can't go cold turkey.
Yeah. Like we talk about Nick Harris on this podcast a lot.
Yeah.
As you would know, being the number one typical holder.
Yeah.
And how that voice... just was, well, for us, it was our childhood.
And that's like Murray Walker.
Yeah.
Murray Walker in F1. He was the voice of F1.
Yeah.
And they chucked James Allen in at the time.
I like James Allen.
He was okay.
That's my favourite combination, actually, was James Allen and Martin
And
Brundle.
then they got another guy there because they switched from ITV over to another, can't remember, not BBC, but... and there was another guy that did it, and he was a bit average. I can't think of his name.
Coulthard did it for a couple of years.
Yeah, he was in
he
there,
did.
But...
he wasn't too bad though, was he?
It was okay. He still does it for, I think, another broadcast.
Yeah, that's why that Jake, the guy that usually does the F2, not Sam Jakes, I forgot his name. He's really good, and I'm surprised they didn't get him. But now I know why, because he actually works for the F1 broadcast.
I don't mind
okay.
Brundle's son. What's his name? Alex. He
yeah.
does the F2. He's quite good. He's easy to listen to, and it's sort of like a voice that you can, relate to because it's that similar sort of mannerism.
It's true, and it can make or break a sport almost.
100%.
Like, it's commentary is everything in any sport, whether it be golf, tennis,
It's true.
cricket.
So
footy,
Lorenzo commentates for Spanish TV
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
MotoGP, because I saw a clip of him with Marquez was going down the inside of Bagnaia.
He just talks about himself the whole time, apparently.
Of course he does. He's Jorge Lorenzo.
Oh, you know that corner's named after me?
Yeah. Tell everyone.
We saw him do special comments at Phillip Island a couple of years ago.
We did.
And when you see these commentators, if you ever see them, that have an earpiece in, this is such a Jorge Lorenzo thing to do. He has his number one imprinted into his earpiece, just to remind everyone. It's a little subtleties. Fucking cheeseburger.
It's funny that we would only notice that.
Oh
as
yeah,
well.
I saw it straight away. You had a few extra holes punched into that belt, I reckon, as well, cheeseburger.
He's a big.
We saw him down at the pub. It was double parked on a couple of drafts, I reckon. G'day, mate.
So do we
Back on track.
do we think that these last two races, and then you had Melbourne. Max has struggled a bit. The car has not been what we think it's supposed to be.
But
Are they
McLaren-
closing up?
Yeah.
How are we looking at this? Do you think
They
is
need
there
that
evidence
though.
enough there? We want it.
Yeah.
But is there enough evidence there to suggest that? I mean, I still think he's going to win most of the races, but maybe we'll get some close races. Because the thing I took from the weekend, I've never seen him so excited to get pole position and win the race. He was genuinely like jumping for joy in both Saturday and yesterday on the podium.
It's wild as well that he did his 24-hour Nürburgring, the sim race.
I know, I was gonna say that.
Verstappen, mate.
Like,
It's
I know
crazy.
it is crazy, and like there was footage of him after the race, and he was yawning and so tired because he was up, I think, till 1 or 2 in the morning or something. They were saying so. That's interesting. Like, where's his head at? I think it just shows you how good he is where
100%.
Perez finished, and I think
That shows you how much Carl's struggling.
and I think it's still the setup's just on the edge. I mean, you looked at some races they dominated easily. Perez finished second, whatever, but it's still on the edge. And looking at that last corner, the last sector, the McLarens were fast.
Yeah.
Those two Rivazzas. So that will go into Monaco this weekend in interesting battle. I think obviously Red Bull will still have their Monaco setup or Monaco aero. So that's where they spend all their money. So we'll see what happens there. So look, it's wide open.
He said he went into the race with an untried setup. This is Max. So
There you go.
because they'd struggled on Friday, found a little small window Saturday morning, managed to get this pole position, which he shouldn't have. He had no right to get that pole position, boys. He just didn't. The way the struggles for the whole weekend suggested that McLaren and Ferrari were in the shootout for that pole. Ferrari went a bit more backwards than McLaren did in the qualifying, but that's the other thing. To equal that record of Senna's 8 poles in a row. Like, you think of the drivers that have come through since Senna that have dominated Formula One: Vettel, Schumacher, even Lewis. They never got 8 poles in a row. Those guys. But for him, to get that pole, and then again,
You were pretty emotional about that.
mate, that was huge.
Yeah.
Look, and again, to do it, the irony
And
for
the
me-
weekend to do it as well. I mean,
Yeah, but this is the
30th
thing.
year.
I remember Schumacher. He equaled Senna's record of 65 poles at Imola, which was a bit sort of spooky, freaky.
It's always a way though.
And but again, here we go on the weekend.
He was bawling his eyes out in
Max,
the press conference afterwards.
Max is doing the same. When I say Max did this, the irony is, he's done it at a track where the bloke. It's been about the whole weekend. It's about this Senna tribute. And just on there, how great was that Vettel thing?
Oh,
Yeah,
amazing.
we should
very
talk
cool.
about that.
That helmet was beautiful.
It was. He had both drivers. I
That's
didn't realize
right.
till today.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
I
good.
thought the Senna was his and the rest, but he had Ratzenberger on the other side. And
Always forgotten.
the
But
touch-
he, it was an amazing tribute, and it's his car.
this is the thing.
Yeah,
He's
it's
got-
his
he's got
own
really?
car.
I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
He bought it.
He's
It's from
he's
the,
got Mansell's FW14 from 1992. He's got and he drove that at Silverstone 2 years ago, and Mansell was there.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
right?
Yeah.
And I was there that day. I was over at that race, and he was fanging around that track.
well, he was good at some.
And he was.
Yeah.
But this is the beauty of it. Like, Aim, I've got some of these cars. Well, let's organise some demos.
Do you know how much
and
they
get in
paid
there.
for it?
Ah, millions.
I knew it was. It's a 1993 because it's the MP
MP48.
48, and it had a real struggle that season. I remember he won Donington in the
He won
wet.
5 races.
Yeah, he was.
Won 5.
It just had an underpowered engine that year. So,
Yeah.
and then obviously we all know what happened in '94. The Williams with their active suspension and all these new innovations.
Well, they already
so.
had that in '92. That's what It was surprised that the McLaren was so competitive for so long
Yeah.
against that Williams. It fell away in the end. Well, I haven't said that. Senna did win the last 2 races that year, but just what a tribute that was. And I think the other thing, they had both the flags. At the end, they did 2 laps yesterday. In the second lap, he pulled the Austrian flag out and then the Brazilian flag.
It was good. It's nice to see.
Really was.
4.8 million.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
For a car.
Yeah. I wonder if it's
We're not
euros.
talking about a car, mate. We're talking about a
No,
Formula One
that's you. I think it must be US.
It's like
So-
7 million Aussie.
Yeah.
Was that the golden era of F1? That 90 to 95? Like, you look at the
Look,
names. They'll never be forgotten, those names.
Yeah, I'm the grandpa of the podcast here.
You
okay?
are. I was born in 95,
Yeah,
Kevin,
okay.
so you got to give us some insight.
To me, and there were people that watched it before I did and stuff, but I say from 84 to 94, and the irony being they were the years that Senna was in it. To through the 80s, the mid-80s, the late 80s, the early 90s, that's when you had all these characters. You had V10 engines,
Development
V8
was
engines,
massive.
You had these massive tyres. You had qualifying engines. You had qualifying tyres.
All the traction control.
Cigarette sponsors.
That came in the early 90s. The technology took over. But I think that mid-80s to late 80s to early 90s, and that's why they show it a million times. You'll probably see this weekend at Monaco. That footage of Senna on board around Monaco. Now, that's 30 years ago, boys. But you look at it and it looks as raw as yesterday. The way how aggressive that car looks.
When was the years when Jody Scheckter was racing around
that
with
was in the
6
late
wheels
70s.
or whatever it was? That was cool seeing that.
Look, every year was great.
I'll pull
Don't get
that
me
one out
wrong.
of my ass, that one.
You have.
Yeah, you have actually, yeah. But that was in the 70s. But again, to me, that era there, the mid to late 80s, those cars were just, they look great. They sounded unreal.
And untapped power. Like they're talking 1,200 horsepower out of some of those.
But you had characters. This is when they were having punch-ons. There was drivers. They didn't like each other. There was lots of drivers. It was very open. It was very
it's very
open.
different now.
You know when you watched a race back in '88, Prost versus Senna, and they lapped the whole field.
Yeah,
Was it more exciting than it is now, or was it just nothing on TV? So even having it on TV
that was a little
amazing.
bit different because that got built up because from very early on, there was a tiff, and that's what just built it. It became box office like a world heavyweight championship because we knew these two guys every weekend which one of them was going to win. And it was two titans. It was just two titans going at it in the best car, and it was an amazing car. But no, it wasn't boring at all. It was just it was riveting to watch because they each out-psyched each other in different ways each weekend. There's so many backstories there to the way they tried to outdo each other. There was one story there in late '89, I think it was, where Prost took pole position, and he's not a qualifier. He knows he's not a qualifier. Senna's the ultimate qualifier, and Prost was about Sundays, and so Prost, 10 minutes to go on the session, he's got the pole, and he goes off, changes into his t-shirt, and goes on the pit wall out of his overalls, and this Senna's Senna's still going around, and Senna's just like, but trying to beat that time, and he couldn't beat it because he's watching Prost looking so relaxed on this pit wall.
Oh, so it's more psychological.
Yeah.
That's what it was. This was the psychological, and he's always said, Prost, F1's 90% psychological, and
Do you reckon it still is?
100%. So is the bike. So is the two wheels. Listen to the sound bites of these guys, the way they read, under the radar what they're really trying to say.
Do you reckon Logan Sargent just thinks if I'm just a bit stronger mentally, I could beat Max Verstappen?
Yeah, sure.
It's kind of like
No worries.
confidence,
So, anyway, but that was
Sergeant.
yeah.
It's just interesting hearing that because, all you need is a battle between two drivers, and it could be the best season ever.
For sure.
And
It
even two
it
teammates.
normally is.
Because you look at the Hamilton-Rosberg era, it was still exciting to watch. But the thing is, the last couple of years, it's been Max and Max only. And I think that's the big difference.
We've spoken about this before, guys. That 21 season,
It's the best.
that was the one for the ages.
Yeah.
That was the young up-and-comer challenger who, and I call him, he's a Terminator. It's the best description for
so
this
many
guy.
things. Post-COVID,
Yeah.
Drive to Survive was at its
100%,
peak.
mate. It was a Haley's Comet. It was a Haley's Comet of Formula
I
One.
know,
mate.
and the old foe with the young
Everyone was
young
at home.
buck. Everyone was at home watching it. It was just such a recipe, wasn't
And
it?
the two different people, two different personalities,
I know.
so complete opposites.
And the fans, two completely different fans. I mean, it's just
And again, we spoke. What made us that they had two Bingles.
yeah.
So they had the one at Silverstone and the
And
one
Monza.
at Monza. So that was the last little ingredient that you needed. We'll get to this later. It's a bit like the Pico Marquez thing at Portimao. We were sort of waiting for it. Now it's happened. We're waiting for this biff on the track, and hopefully it filters away. But they said a kiss to make up these days. Those sort of blokes. But
Now you got these papers in front of us.
Oh, we'll get
Mark.
onto this, guys. So
I
I just had a quick list with.
We don't use paper and pens anymore.
Yeah, I know
but that's
that.
okay.
But look, you said bring some ideas. I'm bringing some ideas. Okay, so we're only 5 races in. But look, let's give a rating out of 10. If you want to talk about some of these guys, should put a line through them on your trusted little chart there, James, that you come up with. So
Fraud Watch.
Yeah. So Logan Sargent, out of 10, what are we giving him so far?
0.5.
0.5. Okay.
I'm gonna go 0.
I'll give him 0. I'll give him 0. What about Bottas?
Bottas has been unlucky. The car has not performed, and also their pit They're
Oh, please,
I'm just going to
slow
say,
it down for the
I'm going to write wheel nuts out of 10.
Yeah, okay.
2 out of 10.
Bottas 2. Okay, I'll go 4 because you've been unlucky. Gasly.
I got Zoo here, bro.
Yeah, Zhao.
I don't know if I've got Gasly on
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Forgot him. No one remembers the French anyway.
Why
Go
did you
on.
wait it once and then like
We
put it
need
through
a-
a copy
we
or
need a
something?
photo-
Listen, don't knock this rose, okay? Come on, this is a shit.
Gasly, Gasly 3 out of 10, but that's harsh because the car has
3?
been shit. Yep.
Yeah,
He actually,
okay, I'll
he
give
actually
you that.
qualified really well on the weekend, but they just dropped back.
we'll sign these and sell these on Patreon
Yeah,
if
sounds
anyone's
exciting.
listening.
Guang Wang Zhu. I don't know. It's probably
I'm going to give him a 1 because I don't really know who he is. I don't
The
really
Chinese
care.
driver, James.
I don't care.
Good.
the communist driver, James.
I'll give him a 3.
Alex Albon's been
We're getting very lowly ranked here, these blokes. Go on.
Albon has been super disappointing. He's probably been my biggest disappointment of the year, to be honest.
Okay.
So I'm going to give him a 3 out of 10.
Yeah, they've signed him for next year.
3 out of 10 for you as well, Danby?
I'll give him a 3. I'll give him a 3. Now, wait, let me say this. Magnussen, you'll give him a 10 just from his Miami effort. Straight up.
So
Come
he
on.
took the words right
Go
out
on.
of my mouth.
Go on, you talk.
Like
Go on.
he's been to keep that fucking piece of shit behind him for that long. 10 out of 10.
All right.
Complaining, whinging.
Yeah, but see, to me, you can't. I mean, you're basing it on that one race, surely.
We're just having a bit of fun. Just having a bit of fun.
The fact that Hulkenberg has just completely wiped this guy. you know.
Hulkenberg, we'll get on to him in a second.
Yeah, but Magnussen for me is a 2.
What about Ocon?
What do we give Gasly? If I've given Gasly
3,
a 4, I'm giving Ocon
A 2.
a 2.
Man, he's nowhere.
Ricardo,
Now, I do
He's
want to
nowhere,
talk about
Ocon. He's fucking nowhere, seriously.
I
Get
do
rid
want
of
to
him.
talk about this as a topic. Where's Ricciardo at, boys?
Ricardo, no I, are silent.
Paul Espargaro.
Where's he at, boys?
I think the car, like obviously, for some reason, Yuki has just come out of the woodwork and he's
Well,
performing
he got
really
points
well.
this week, didn't he?
He's got points. He finished. He's been finishing in mid pack, but still upper mid pack.
I'm giving Ricciardo a
4.5.
3. I'm giving him a 3.
Yeah, I'm going to give him a 4 because 5's a pass, and I think he's below pass.
Okay, these are all below pars. So we'll start
Hulkenberg for that car, I'm going to give him an 8. I think he's
I
done.
think so.
Yeah, I think he's done it. And in qualifying, Q3,
keeps
that many-
putting in Q3.
those appearances. I mean, that just shows you the car qualifying shows the speed of the driver. The race shows the
craft
speed
almost.
of well, and
Craftsmanship.
also
Well said.
and the car as well. I mean, it's tire wear, it's this, it's that. It's not only
Yeah, pit stops. Like
Exactly.
steak or whatever the name is.
Stroll has been non-existent.
Well,
Have
got
we seen
Stroll.
Stroll on the TV? In
I
the
think he
last
got
few
points this round though.
weeks? No, that'd be silly.
I think he's had one
Yeah,
good
he
race.
did.
There was one race where Alonso didn't get anywhere and he did for some reason.
Did he finish 10th?
I think
Did he?
got.
No.
Lance Stroll got 9th.
Did he
wow.
really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
I'll give him a 5 then.
5, okay.
Nah, I don't know about
4.
that. I'll give him a 4.
4 for me. Now, Yuki.
I don't know. He's been under the radar
6.
for me because I'm not a huge fan of him, and I think he doesn't deserve that seat. But he has.
Yeah,
been
but he's
performing.
shown, you say that, but he's kicking ass. He's kicking Ricciardo's ass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, where's Ricciardo these days? But
I'm going to give him a
Ricardo.
5.5, Yuki.
6. So listen, just before we go on, so back to Ricciardo. This is one to ask you both tonight, right? Where's he at? Does he keep his drive next year at this point? If you are you keeping him in that car? You're putting Lawson in.
You have to put Lawson in. I think. To
He
be
has
honest,
to have a big. Sorry to cut you off. He
Okay.
has to have a big second season, basically.
Second half of the
Yeah,
season.
second half of the season.
I
for him
think.
to keep that seat.
I think Lawson's signed already. Because
So if this keeps going, does Lawson get in before the end of the season? I'm just throwing this stuff up, boys. I'm just throwing this stuff up.
I don't know
guys,
if
sorry.
Yuki. I think Yuki's the favourite for the Red Bull seat for next year at the moment.
Okay.
I mean, if he keeps performing, I think that's. Yeah, I think that could be a play. But there no more Honda affiliation means there's no Japanese affiliation. So we'll see what happens.
They
there.
do like sticking with each other, the Japanese, Idemitsu, i.e.
Alonso.
6 out of 10 for me. He hasn't had that brilliance. He's had a couple of good races, but he got so unlucky on the weekend. He
Is
had
it
that
the car?
crash. Is it the car? No, because Stroll finishing 9th. The car must be fucking. That means he can finish on the podium, Alonso.
6 for Alonso. Lewis.
call,
What
great
about
call.
Lewis?
Lewis 3 out of 10.
3, you reckon?
Yep.
I'll give him a 4.
He
He
been
gets top
consistently.
sixes.
He's been consistently being outperformed by Russell. They handed him the position on the weekend. For some reason, they pitted Russell.
Well, they wanted that fastest lap.
Yeah,
is what they wanted.
Yeah, well, why? But yeah, anyway.
It was a safer bet to take Russell ahead to get it than risk Hamilton getting behind Perez.
Russell's
is why
5
they
out of
did it.
10 for me. It's a pass, but he's done
So
nothing
what have you given
special.
Hamilton? 3.
3.
I gave
Well,
him a 4.
I'm giving Lewis a pass of 5. I'm giving Russell the same. To me, Yeah. There's been races. Hamilton started coming good there for a while because at the very start Russell was not wiping him, but qualifying him a lot and stuff. And Hamilton just kept going this wrong direction with the setup. Enough of that already. That team, I keep saying it. I know I'm wearing their top tonight, but that team's just.
No, you can tell Hamilton stopped caring. I think he's taken that step.
Yeah, but he's careful. He's always been that carefree.
No.
Okay.
No, don't agree.
I think he is.
No. He's intense. The intensity's gone. In his racecraft, his intensity's gone. But anyway, Piastri, I'm going to give him an 8. I think it's
8, you reckon? High?
I said 8, yeah.
Oh, he's had a bit unlucky, Mark. That's the thing.
I'll give him a 7. Sainz? He's won a race.
8 as well, I think.
8?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm with you.
I'll give him an 8 as well. Norris, if you're giving Piastri 7, what are you giving Norris?
I'm giving Norris
9.5.
a 9.
9?
Yep.
Okay. I'll go for that.
Perez probably a 7.
Yeah, that sounds
I'm going to give him a 5.
I mean, he's in the best car in the grid.
Yeah,
so.
I'm giving him a 5.
Yeah, it's just a pass. I mean, you could go either way.
Yeah.
You could go either way.
Leclerc?
An 8. 7.5.
I said 7.
What do you give Sainz 8? I'm giving Leclerc 7.5. He started behind there. Sainz had the better over him the first 4 races.
Well, Sainz has probably outperformed in this year.
Yeah, but in the
far.
last couple of races,
It's
Leclerc's
come back,
turning it around.
And then 10 out of 10.
10 for Max.
I gave him a 9.5.
Whoa.
I know, a bit harsh. Didn't win Miami. He's got high standards, Max.
Well, he didn't win Miami, didn't win Australia, but
Australia wasn't his fault.
yeah.
All right, so what's the best race so far? Is there a race that stands out? Was it Miami, do you think?
I think Albert Park for me.
Albert Park was good?
Yeah, just because it was just Max had that issue early on.
It just came alive
and then we just
wasn't it? It was crazy.
then we didn't know what was. It was the first. It was the first race that I've watched, and I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen.
First time in so long.
That's a good point. My favourite race of the year so far. Yeah, I probably have to agree. There hasn't been anything that's a real standout.
It's very dull at the moment, Formula 1, unfortunately.
100%. This is why I'm asking this question.
Yeah.
What is it? It's hard to think of a standout. But
I'm not going to say it's dull. I don't think it's dull. It's still...
It's dull for results.
Yeah, it's dull for results. But the thing is, you have to look at the whole grid and you have to go, well, we've got Mercedes falling down, which is great. We've got McLaren...
Hey, just sorry to pull you up there. You tipped them to this massive comeback this year.
Yeah, but James had Marini in the top 10.
You
So anyway, we all make mistakes.
You said Merck was going to be coming back and winning races, and so we need to clip that in somehow.
No, they're done.
Okay,
Merck are done.
We said it in the preview.
Yeah, they're done. They're done. For me, I mean, the battle at the moment that's so exciting is the Ferrari and McLaren battle.
Yeah.
And I'm
four
super
good drivers,
excited.
4 very good drivers.
So yeah,
It is a little bit more exciting with Verstappen. Is there actually cracks there now after the past few races? And that's one little chink in the armour, maybe. Who knows?
And we can't be looking at the next round for any excitement because we know Monaco.
It's all about the qualifying at Monaco. Always has been.
But then we've got Canada. We've got
Canada's a good one.
Catalonia, Austria.
Catalonia's going to be a
back later
fucking
than you, isn't it?
snooze fest, man.
So Canada's in 3 weeks.
Okay.
So there's some exciting races coming up. And I think Canada's always got a good passing opportunity in that.
So boys, Carlos Sainz, where does he go?
He signs with Sauber.
You reckon he's the reports are he's knocked it back.
No, I don't think so.
He's hanging for that Merc seat or the Red Bull seat.
Nah, signs. I mean, he has the affiliation with Red Bull.
This is his. I don't think so.
But why would Red Bull sign signs when they've got like Lawson, they got Yuki? Wouldn't you want a young talent in there?
Perez had a shit race or shit weekend, but he's doing enough to keep that seat.
Does Sainz have the X factor though? We talk about.
I don't rate the guy.
Well, they don't want anyone to challenge Verstappen anyway. They want to
challenge him anyway. Come on, no, I don't believe that. But Verstappen doesn't care about the car.
But how good is this for Audi in 2026? They're going to have their German driver Hulkenberg, and they'll have Sainz. I think that's a great, formidable attack. Also, Bottas in the Williams.
Look, a lot of stories going around there.
Yeah.
You know, Bottas
signing for Williams. I mean, Bottas and Albon at Williams is a great lineup as well.
Agreed.
But it seems to be the common theme now with Formula One teams. They're going for experience over kids.
Well, he's got to get the sure thing.
Yeah.
So what about...
Too much money on the line.
What about...
Danby in here, mate.
What about
There we
Kimi? What about Kimi Antonelli? Tom, your man.
Yeah, he's going to sign with Mercedes.
So he's taking that seat.
Yes. Yes, it's happened. It's
Okay.
already signed.
He's saying Kimmy.
Mercedes
He's
have already,
been saying this for weeks.
Mercedes
months.
have already tried to get him in the Williams seat for this year, and they haven't allowed him to do it because he's not 18 yet. So
Well, that's still to play out. He still might get that license.
No, I think it's done. I think they've denied it. To be honest,
Okay.
that's my inside. That's what I've heard. So we'll see.
Interesting. All right. Now they're saying
Write that in your little black book.
this came out yesterday that they want a maximum of 25 races, and they want to do a sprint race at every race. What do you think
like
of
GP
that?
style?
Yeah. F1 sprint races every weekend.
I have to admit, I was sitting there on Friday night watching practice. And I'm thinking, fuck, it'd be cool if there was a qualifying session after this.
Right.
I was thinking, and it'd be cool to have a Saturday night race, but don't know. Does it take something away from the main race? Or I mean, it doesn't in MotoGP. We found
Well,
that.
I just don't think F1 has the product,
Well, see.
the racing product
that.
yet. Because MotoGP does,
Yeah,
and you can add that in, but for F1, like...
Yeah, you got to remember as well, the F1 main race is an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Where a MotoGP race is 45 minutes. So it's double the amount of time.
Yeah, that's right. I just don't think they're in that space yet for that. They could do it. I just don't know if they could even if it's great, the product. I don't know.
Does it work? Does it work for
doesn't
F2? Does F2 any more exciting because it's got a sprint race? I don't know if it does.
Look, I suppose the other two series that started all this, they had this reverse grid for reverse top 10 thing. They've had it for 5-6 years now, maybe more.
Yeah.
Both F3 and F2. So
Yeah, it's good how they have those trials. I mean, I noticed on the weekend with F2 they had no tyre blankets. I mean, I knew that, but it was interesting to see if you pit
they've
early.
tried that with F1, but they've said
Nah,
no
it's
because
too
they think it's
dangerous.
not a safety thing.
Yeah.
Temps to drop too low. All this
Yeah.
sort
It
of
is.
stuff.
It's true though, and it's sort of weird because the car comes on the track with no tyre, and then the guy coming behind you has full. Like it's so dangerous.
It is. The speed differential.
Speed difference.
Much,
Like you saw that even in F2. I couldn't believe the guy came out of the pits.
Yeah.
And he got passed by two races. So I couldn't believe that.
What do they do? What do they do to enhance the product? Is it
I
just
don't think they need to do anything. I just think that
is it just Verstappen so good?
Yeah, I think that don't change what's not broken. I think having a few sprint races here and there is good. I don't think every race.
What about tracks like Imola where passing's just
Yeah, again, Monaco. How do you have a reverse race? Like I mentioned, a sprint race at Monaco.
nah, it's not going to work.
It's too dangerous as well because you have a big accident and you can't race on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Where on the MotoGP you've got two bikes, so that's the other thing.
Yeah.
Oh, they can fix the cars overnight if it's not too badly damaged. There's been some bingles in some sprint races they've had.
A lot of work for the mechanics though, isn't there?
Yeah, well, this will be the argument.
25 races a year, and then they've got 2 races on the weekend. 50
I'm a thumbs
races.
down. Look, thumbs down for
50
me.
races. I mean,
Nah, it's not worth it.
fuck, it's a lot of racing. I mean, we talk about that. We talk to those MotoGP mechanics down on the island, and they're just like they're wrecked by the end of the season. Like
Yeah,
they're fucking. They can't believe the travel time.
They got PTSD looking at the motor.
Yeah. I think they'll get up to close to 10 eventually. If it's not next year, the year after, you'll see 10 sprint. If there's going to be 24, 25 races, a third of them, we've got 6 now. This is the first year we've had 2 back-to-back, so they were trialling that as well. Then we went straight from Suzuka into Miami as sprint races. So they were trying this back-to-back thing to see how the reaction would be. Like, that's your first tell sign that, well, okay.
Yeah. I think
There's
sprint
more coming.
sprint racing on weekends where tracks have passing
here's the
opportunity is
guy.
better as well.
That's why I think 10. You just said it. Imagine Imola. Imagine at Monaco.
But why is Imola on the?
I just told you, mate. When Dildo Dom got the job, okay, taking over the F1 marketing, the
God, jeez.
sorry, the
FIA.
words- no, when he took over that side of Formula One, running it commercially, the commercial side of
Yeah.
Formula One, he was always going to have
Stefano
that earmarked.
Domenicali you're
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. When he was always having that earmarked, and it was just wrong because how can you have tracks like Turkey or Hockenheim or there's other countries, that, some stupid poll last week about which track would you like, Imola or Monza,
What's the most underrated circuit in the world?
Well,
Jesus, that's a big
underrated, like as in-
Underrated. So people don't talk about it, but it's an amazing track.
question. That's on the F1 calendar.
I'm going to say Istanbul Park. I think that is.
Oh, look, of course, but it's
Yeah.
not on there. It's hard to be underrated if it's not on there. You can't talk about it if it's not on there.
He's laughing at me.
No,
I'm
I'm
a serious
not
question.
No, I'm not laughing at you. I'm just.
No, I laugh at him. Everyone
I
laugh
thought
at
you were
him.
talking about the tracks we've got at the
No,
moment.
no. Tracks in the world. I'm saying ex-F1 tracks.
Oh, look, Istanbul Park is the modern day Spa. Period. It's incredible.
That
track.
turn 8. But
all of it. The first the elevation from it's like a Eau Rouge up after turn 2. That how high it goes up.
Who was speaking about that was one of his favourite track? Vermeulen.
Chris
Vermeulen
Vermeulen.
said it was his favourite track
Yeah,
as
mate.
well.
I went there for the F1 about 15 years ago.
Fuck, you've
You
been
know?
everywhere, Danby.
Helps. it just, yeah, look, it was interesting. I couldn't believe when I got there how undulating it is.
Now you got to pick another one because I picked Turkey. What's another one that people don't talk about?
I'd have Nuremberg on the Nuremberg. The Nuremberg.
Nürburgring?
You know.
Nürburgring.
I call it Nuremberg.
I think Nuremberg was a type of World War II offensive.
I've always called it Nuremberg, mate. Okay, for that reason. Okay,
This podcast is sponsored by
Nuremberg?
the SS Youth.
Nuremberg? Nürburgring.
Nürburgring.
Nürburgring. I'd have that every day.
What about you,
That's a
James?
great
Is
track.
it one on the
Underrated track.
Donington Park?
Yeah, that's a fucking great answer. Yeah, I don't know. I need time to think about
Okay.
it. Probably, you're probably right. It's probably Donington.
I answered it for you.
Or actually, no, it's Laguna Seca.
Yeah. I mean,
It's not on the calendar.
If you took the corkscrew out of that track, it would be nothing though.
Yeah, but you can say that about Eau Rouge.
Yeah, it's about lots of tracks. Yeah, but no, it's not just
True,
the
true,
corkscrew. The whole, even that whole back section leading up to the corkscrew. That's amazing.
And,
It's a
and
quick
it's a blind rise
Yeah. It's
going
the
into a
undulation.
blind rise.
It's the
It's
undulation.
always undulation
It is,
makes a
yeah.
track.
100%.
These stupid, what's his name?
Herman Tilke.
Yeah, buddy tracks are just they're no good. Works a little bit, I guess, of a street circuit. Like I was pleasantly surprised with Vegas, and I thought that was my favorite round of last year of F1. But these,
It wasn't great.
And Imola's amazing as well. It's just the cars have outgrown it.
Yeah.
You know, it would be great for GT cars, bikes.
Well, we were talking last week about Le Mans,
Okay.
and I felt even the bikes have outgrown that circuit because there's just everywhere to try to pass was a big risk.
It
And
is
it
a
Yeah,
shouldn't-
but it's always been a stop-start circuit, that one. Yet for some reason we get some good races there. If you think about it, you're right. It's I'm not going to say it's outdated, but it's a stop-start circuit. But for whatever reason, that La Chapelle, the sweeper down the hill,
Garage Verde.
Garage
Yeah.
Verde, the first part of the lap seems to be very good, but then that last 3 or 4 corners a bit.
It's a bit clunky.
The
Yeah.
track shouldn't be good, but for some reason it is.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
what
that's
it's
what I'm
like.
trying to
Like
say.
that
Yeah.
last corner is so clunky, and what's that hairpin? Is that garage?
Yeah,
Verde?
yeah, in the back
That's just
straight.
clunky. Like
It's just a double apex.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
a double apex, the same as the last
But
corner.
it just works. The track works. I love it.
Yeah, it does.
Get some hot takes going. What do you reckon, Jim?
Yeah.
This is gonna be real hot takes of number 2, maybe number 2 ticket holder actually.
Ooh.
Damn, you got to regain yourself, mate.
Oh, okay.
Harsh.
Didn't like that. Didn't like that. All right, that's Daniel Manfrenato. 2024 Martin champion of Pramac. 2025 Marc Marquez champion with Pramac.
Oh,
Hot take.
Wow.
Does that mean Marquez is going to be in Yamaha? Because if so, that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, it's a pretty hot take. That's making an assumption, making a big assumption.
Yeah.
Talks of, and we'll jump on MotoGP after the hot takes, but yeah, I mean, who knows what's going to happen? We're just going to wait for the announcement with Yamaha, which manufacturer they're going to go to.
I think it's going to be Pramac. It's just, yeah. If VR46 wasn't going to take that factory seat, I reckon and it was Pramac, I reckon you'd have a chance of Marquez being on that bike. But because it's going to be VR46, hell will freeze over before Marquez rides that motorcycle.
Imagine
Say
that.
it again. Explain it to me in a different language. Who's getting what?
So if
VR46.
if Pramac went to Yamaha,
Yep.
then Marquez is going to have to go figure something out. But if VR46
This
takes
is
the
if Pramac
factory,
gets the Yamaha.
Yeah.
You're saying VR46 will get 2 factory bikes.
yes.
No.
Well, who's going to get him? Grissini.
We're on the hot takes at the moment. We're getting ahead of ourselves,
Yeah, we're
boys.
getting ahead of ourselves. We'll touch
Hot
on that
takes.
after.
Hot takes.
Because I think Grissini will have a factory bike next year with Marquez on it.
Well, we'll pick that one up later. At Nikki D3604, if MotoGP has to decrease engine size, it would be more entertaining to see a drop to 500 cc's instead of 850.
502 strokes, I assume.
I don't think so. If it's a 504 stroke, that is the worst hot take I've ever said in my whole entire
why
life.
don't
The
we go-
Moto 2 bikes will have bigger engines.
Why don't we go
Fucking-
400 cc's?
Yumi Sasaki will go quicker around the fucking Grand Prix bike. fucking the Yumi.
No, you'd assume they had two-stroke.
We could go 400cc and Kawasaki could come in because they bring their 400cc
that's right.
street bikes in.
Ninja.
I read it as a 500 4-stroke.
No, it has to be two-stroke. And the other thing, why would you go back to two-stroke?
It's not going to happen.
The
That's
technology,
just,
the technology's
we'll,
gone.
We'll all love it,
We've
but
got to
they
move
don't
on.
have
Is
it.
it? They don't even make a. Does anyone make a road bike that is a two-stroke anymore? Apart from that Isle of Man TT bike, what's it called?
Nah.
What about trial bikes? No?
Yeah,
I'm
KTM,
just saying.
300s,
No, they still sell plenty. don't they?
YZs, stuff like that. Beaters, gas, all same shit. At Tari.Dewhurst,
Hey,
number 2.
friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod. Steak F1 has the best livery.
Wow, that's a modern day Drive to Survive
True,
viewer
true.
right there.
Yeah.
Everyone hated it when it came out, but I think it's grown on people.
I liked it when it came out. Now I don't like it.
Yeah, well, there you go. The opposite.
Yeah, I've gone the opposite.
Okay.
Steak F1. They got, I mean, it's eye catching. It's
Go
eye
on,
catching.
Titch. Is that your political answer?
Well, I don't know. I don't like it. I don't dislike it. Or I don't like it. I just think different's good. I think different. If there was another fucking blue car on the grid, I'd fucking crack it.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
So-
too many of those.
overkill.
And they take all the colours off, so it's less weight.
yeah.
And
the
fucking
blackness-
Ferrari turns
blackness.
half blue for a
Yeah,
round as well.
yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, I wish they went full blue, but
I should have.
What do we got next? Whoops. Sorry, people. Let's stick with her again. Thoughts on the Sainz versus Piastri drama?
I don't think there's a drama there. But I think that it's exciting for F1. The young gun and the old. Oh, is he old
The old
Fox
dog.
now? Would you say Sainz
Yeah,
is
I'd
an old
say
Fox?
he's
It's
the old
crazy to
Fox.
think, for all these young guys coming in. He's been there as long as Max. Yet people don't look as Max as old.
No.
So they came in the same time. I think Sainz before actually.
Yeah, it was on the Toro
Max.
Rosso.
Yeah.
All right, next one. At Semel Grams. Apparently, Toprak's manager is meeting up with a MotoGP team. Rumor has it, it's Honda.
Right. You got more chance at a Honda, mate. Look,
I reckon I could do faster than fucking Marini, though.
Clearly, the fact that Yamaha didn't offer him that seat is what made him jump off the Yamaha.
Yeah.
And BMW is his ticket in
Yeah.
whenever that happens. And that will happen.
It looks like Honda, and we'll talk about this, is looking to throw money and basically ruin anyone's career that, wants to take enough money.
Hilarious.
Because that's what's
Yeah.
happening.
That's
But they're saying, I read this morning, Marini wants out.
Yeah, well, we'll talk about
Go
that.
on.
But like, if you're the smartest man out of all this is Zarco. He's going to test the bike. The pressure's off. He's made a fuck ton of money over the next 2 years, and he can sail
He's
off
probably
into the
performing
sunset.
the best out of all of them. As
And
well.
he is performing the best out of all of them. But if you're a guy going into his prime like Marini or Mir's coming off a world title, so it's a rider killer. It killed Lorenzo as well.
Yeah, you
Cheeseburger.
just said it, mate.
Friend of the
With Zarco, he's coming down the slope. Not that he got to the mountain, but he's been in the sport however long.
Yeah.
He was getting the flick from the sport,
Yeah.
right? They were going to give him 1 year, if that, and he wanted 2.
Yeah.
And Honda gave him 2.
Yeah.
So he just wants to be MotoGP. So
Develop the bike, make some money.
that's why when I say relaxed, all those other guys are whinging their heads off about how bad this bike is. And it is horrible. And I'll say it now, like we're 4 or 5 races in, but Yamaha have shown something. Honda just still nowhere.
Yeah.
Tom?
If I was Jack Miller, I'd be happy to take in that Honda money.
Again,
You're on the
another
other
one.
side of the career.
does he just want to hang around? We'll take it. He will take. If it comes up and then maybe there's talk to us, of course he will. He wants to be in this paddock for longer. Good on him.
Yeah.
We'll touch on Marini
Yeah.
because I got some thoughts on that after this.
Right.
I just think it's crazy. After he knew what he was getting himself into. If you make your bed, you have to sleep in it.
I agree.
Yeah, it's a fucking hard one.
You
isn't it?
can't be trying to get out of your contract.
Well, then
6 races
If you're
in.
6 rounds in, then you're mentally
Yeah.
not in it. Then
You're not
you're
in
not
it.
developing a bike, and you might as well
Mate,
just get rid of him as well.
Look at Rims.
Rims,
Alex
as
Rins.
in like a
Sorry,
DID
sorry,
rims.
Alex Rins, sorry. Look at Alex Rins. 1 year.
Yeah,
He was
I
out.
know.
He won a race.
Yeah.
It was a 2-year thing and maybe going to go up to the factory team. Rah, 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 rah.
They know.
Go on.
At it's cold papa.
Oh, that's a cool handle.
That's
Go on.
your nickname, is it?
Yeah, go on. Is it cool papa? Cold papa? Go on.
That's his safe
Half
word.
cuppa. Half cuppa.
No, I've heard him yell pineapple from the other room.
Yeah.
Upside down.
Like those whips and stuff.
Yeah. Go.
You go.
Go.
All these random Asian voices.
Go.
Did he now?
Go.
I feel you can't stop us, mate.
Nah,
I feel
they
like-
tried. They tried. They'll never succeed. Go on.
I feel like Pramac is going to stay with Ducati, but Grassini can get the factory bikes next year.
Oh,
Wow.
T. Shavs. That was also his call if Marquez doesn't stay. Yeah, it could happen.
So where's VR46 going to go? Yamaha?
No, BMW.
Nah,
I told you this.
not going to happen.
I've told you that.
No. Chich, please. Maybe you did. 2027 though.
I don't see anyone but VR46 getting that factory bike.
Oh, so wait, hang on. Are you saying factory
Ducati.
Okay.
Both of them.
2 VR46 factory bikes and then 2 factory
But why-
Ducatis. Grassini will stay the same and Pramac will go to Yamaha.
Listen. Why wouldn't they give one factory bike to VR, one factory bike to Grassini, and Marquez stays on it? That's what's going to happen.
I just don't think that's going to happen. I just don't think they're even going to even consider that. I think they want a second factory team.
Yeah, that works closely with the factory. I just don't know if like Ducati and VR46 is going to work. That's all. As in head office.
So what's more important?
I think it
Jay?
would.
Let's look at this logically. What's more important, having a second factory team or trying to keep Marc Marquez at Ducati?
Well,
Logic. We're just talking logic.
okay, logically, they're going to have to cut ties with Martin.
That's a big ask.
I know that's a big ask.
So
but
are you putting Marquez in the factory seat?
yeah.
Well, I'm going to give you 6 reasons why he won't be in the factory seat.
1.
Red Bull versus Monster.
Yeah, okay, that's the obvious.
Samsung versus Lenovo.
They
Hang on,
can
I'm
break.
going.
You can break contracts.
He's going to have to break 6 contracts.
Oh.
You understand? 6 contracts to go to that factory team. Now, I'm not saying he won't do it, but if he does that, that just goes to show how determined this guy is. And it's a scary thought that he's still got that killer instinct, which he's clearly shown. But everyone's just talking about the Red Bull Monster thing. There's 5 other sponsors.
What
He's
would that
hooked
be
up
like?
with.
Estrella Galicia,
Yeah, they're with,
that Spanish beer.
Oakley, they got Carrera. He's ambassadors for half these people. All right? So please.
Who knows what clauses are in those contracts? though?
I want him on the factory bike. So my personal preference is have him straight in there. It's a no-brainer. But, you know, that if he puts a line through those 6 sponsors, that's huge.
But wouldn't it make so much more sense to stay on a team he can keep his sponsors and have a factory bike?
This is why the scenario is that Gigolini wants to try and keep all 3 of them.
Stop talking past him, mate.
Okay. Well, you got me on here. I'm trying to give you the facts. You know,
The Gigolini spaghetti
Gigolini, I call him. You know,
carbonara.
The D'Antonio.
so, you know, Martin goes to the factory. Grassini gets, and look, the sell is that if Pramac, they're trying to sell Marquez with the Pramac factory ride. So they're trying to say to Pramac, if you stay with us, we'll give you Marquez. Right? Because they want,
But he had that option.
hang on.
He had that option.
Hang on.
prior, mate.
Ducati's first priority is to keep Pramac. They want Pramac. They still want Pramac to have their bikes. Okay? And for that to happen, the dangling carrot is Marquez goes there. Takes Carcetti with him.
What do you think's going to happen, Danby?
I'm trying to tell you what's going to happen.
Maybe put into
Okay.
more simple words.
Look,
So you reckon Marquez a factory Ducati or not?
Marquez will be on a factory Ducati next year.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to be a red one. Okay?
So what
but
do
he-
you think now?
I'll
I
say
feel like
it.
you're saying it's a Pramac.
Now, look, Pramac holds a bit of the cards here. That, you know, if they go Yamaha like everyone thinks, well, then like you said, Tom, they get a bike each. This is Bezzy but if I'm Bezzy, I'm jumping on that Aprilia.
No, he's not going to do that.
Why not?
He's too much of a puss. He didn't
Now,
even get a Pramac in the
I agree.
first
So
place.
at the moment,
He's too scared.
If we look at it now, right, he's getting beat by 3 guys already. One of them on the same bike as himself. He's taken 4 races to learn, right? So if he's got the same bike as Marquez, the same bike as Martin, the same bike as Pecco, he's coming 4th more often than not. Agree? Disagree?
Agreed.
So why stay on the bike? Wouldn't you go to another bike? Think outside the square. Jump on this Aprilia, Okay, and therefore that bike might be the bike.
Yeah, but James is right though. He's got such an affiliation with it.
No, that's the downfall. No, listen, I'm just giving the scenarios. Yeah. Listen, we spoke about this last week, James. There's a reason. There's only a handful.
Kid.
There's a handful of top line riders for a reason. Otherwise, everyone would be a world champion.
All right, I want to know right now, Danby. You got to give me a definitive answer right now.
My view. Go on. What do you want to know?
Who's factory Ducati and who's Martin and Pecco?
Yeah, I reckon.
I got to write this down because I'm going to sell this. So Pramac then?
Well, if they go Yamaha,
or where they going? I want you to know.
I'm saying Pramac go Yamaha, right? Well, I'm giving a bike to Grassini.
Okay, so Pramac to Yamaha. You reckon that's going to happen?
If that happens.
But you reckon that's going to happen?
Well, it sounds like it is.
Okay, yep.
I'm not 100%.
And then one Grassini factory bike for Marquez.
And one to Bezecchi.
Okay.
Where does Aldeguer go though?
He goes to VR46.
Which doesn't make any sense.
Because they kick out... No, well, they've got to put him somewhere.
Yeah, but they kick out Digger.
Well, hang on a second. They'll say to VR46, listen, we'll give you a factory bike, but this is the other rider that's going to be on the other bike.
It's messy. It's starting to become
but
messy.
this is what we're sitting here talking about. There's so many
and this is why they haven't made a decision yet because there's so many variables.
They've probably got the same three Italian guys sitting around the table like us just going, what
Bubbity.
There was a story on the weekend. KTM's made a play for Martin.
Brundle?
No. Jorge Martin. Oh, Martin. Oh, Martin. Sorry.
Maybe we should get an English teacher on here.
I'll call him Martin, okay?
You have it the whole day. What are you talking about?
Martin. Is it got an E on the end, is it?
No, it's got a little apostrophe.
It's the Spanish flavour, bro.
Okay. Martin. Jorge Martin.
George Martin.
George Lorenzo.
Okay, so continue.
So what did you say again, sorry? What did you say?
KTM.
Yeah, made a play for Jorge, yeah.
Right. So where does that leave Brad Binder?
Gas.
Yeah, exactly. And see, and just on that, KTM, they should be embarrassed. They built this bike for Brad Binder, right? And this Acosta kid's come in and just...
He's the one to... He's the...
you missed,
What's happened to Binder, though?
The point I'm trying to make, and I mentioned one of the comments on your feeds last week, that, when he crashed out last week, where were the other three? Or the other two? Okay, Jack's sort of middle of the road. We know that, where he's at with that bike, but... it's just not good enough for Binder to be down where he is. And I think what I'm trying to say is that they know he's not the answer either.
Nah, I think they know that. That I think you're right. For
so
sure.
Therefore, they'll get a Martin.
I think that's a smart play for. I think that's a smart play for everyone. I like that.
So Martin going to KTM.
Yeah, I feel dumb for not thinking about that, but Red Bull's got the Red Bull time there.
And what, he was Moto 2, wasn't he?
Moto 2. Then they left not very amicably. But they've patched things up. And I think he would suit that bike. I think it needs to be ridden aggressively, that KTM. Not so aggressively where you burn the tyres in 2.5 laps, but Martin could be the answer.
Haven't they already got one Spanish young hothead? Like, do you need two?
Well, I think you need
all Spanish hotheads.
Yeah, they're all pretty, yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like they've already got Acosta. Like, I think
he's only 6 races in.
I know, but I think him and Binder work really well together. I don't know why you want to...
No, I'll tell you why, because
Binder's not a championship winner.
Let's say Acosta, is there a chance Acosta is fighting for the championship next year?
Yes.
Yeah,
there is. But is there also a percentage chance that he crashes a couple of times next year as well, still learning stuff?
They do say that the second year is always a hard year.
The backup year.
Yeah, the backup year, yeah. It's interesting. But I think if KTM have the opportunity to sign Martin, I think it's a no-brainer as well.
Yeah, and they'll pay the money for him. He wants to fill his pockets, and KTM are renowned for filling people's pockets and putting a fuck ton of money into their projects as it is.
The only thing is guaranteed is that Bastianini will not be on that Ducati. Okay? You can take that to the bank. Why?
I think he's good.
No, mate, listen. Okay?
Equal points with Marquez
results.
At the moment.
Mate, you've got to win races. This is Binder's problem. You've got to be winning. You're on these factory bikes. They're paying a fortune to produce these machines to fight for race wins and championships. You've got to be winning. No, there's no sub-stories here. I pour this, pour that. It was a Banzai movie he did on Espargaro as it was. He deserved the penalty. There
The
was
penalty wasn't for the move though. The penalty was for cutting the track.
because he couldn't make the move properly.
Yeah, but I think good on him for making the move.
Yeah,
Fuck
yeah.
him sitting behind him.
so I
that's right.
disagree.
Fuck Alicia Spargo as well.
I'm not saying he shouldn't have made the move. This is my favourite thing this year.
Are you a Marquez fan, mate? You love hard moves. What are you talking about?
Let me finish. The best thing I've seen this year is that the telltale is that if you've got to stay within the white lines, right? No good doing a banzai manoeuvre if you end up in no man's land at the end of it. Okay, so this is actually bringing a deterrent to say to these guys, if you're going to pass, you better make sure the pass is sticking. Okay?
Yeah.
It's true. It's true.
You're all right. He's going to go to Aprilia.
Who?
Bashanini.
Yeah, the beast.
Fuck, this is it's a crazy, we're playing chess, aren't we?
Yeah, it is. And you know what? We'll all be wrong.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, look.
And I won't be surprised, dead set, if we get a news article in 2 weeks, Bastianini signs. I wouldn't be
There's no
surprised.
way, mate. There is
I wouldn't be surprised either, honestly.
You cannot be that stupid to give up on Marquez and Martin for Bashanini.
You got to remember Italians, but they're all Italian, you know?
Nah.
They look after each other.
That's a big call.
They've
though.
already got the Italian. They've got Pecco. And
Yeah, I
he's
know,
winning.
but you know what Italians are like? It's all about the La Familia, you know? That's why Daniel's on here tonight. It's family first. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's big culture there, though. Spanish are more cutthroat. I don't give a fuck.
I think the one thing I took from that French race is that look how hard it is to win a race. You've got to beat Pecco and Martin.
And Marquez.
But take Marquez away from it. He came from nowhere. 16th, wherever the hell he came from, 13th. But look at these Aprilias and KTMs and whoever else. How hard? Well, look at the task. This is the reality of these bikes. They've gone backwards. The Aprilia, looking after Austin. The rave was about Vinales. He did the double, and everyone was. I jumped on.
Yeah. You all jumped on. You all jumped on, and I kept doing fraud watch. And look who's laughing now.
Yeah.
You know what he does? He just sucks you in for a. It's like you get one good hand job and you keep coming back for more.
He's a tight hooker.
Yeah.
He's a tight
What an
hooker.
analogy.
Because he'll suck you in, and then he does it once a year. You give him that late night message. Yeah. He goes, "Hey, how you going?
Hey, you up?
How you up?" 2:30 in the morning, and then he'll just let you down time after time.
That bike, it turns over every week on the Friday. Every weekend, Friday's the fastest. It's looking really good. Saturday morning the same. Then for whatever reason, between Saturday and Sunday, whether it's the team, the riders, they just fuck it up.
Soon as he won that race, I knew he was just going to do nothing.
Yeah,
again.
you called it.
They need to just remove. They need to get rid of him and need to get rid of Aleix.
If you remember, this time last year, they had a 1-2 at Barcelona, but it was the cool conditions. They won the 2 races last year because of the cold conditions. And that Pecco had the crash and all the rest of it. Okay, so it was asterisks next to it, I suppose. You know, because Pecco was out, Martin, can't remember what happened to him, but they had a 1-2 here at Barcelona last year.
I think it's just too competitive this year for that to happen again.
Yeah.
Oh, and Bagnaia did crash out.
Yeah,
that
that
race.
And Barcelona was later on in the year last year. This is back early in the year, in the peak of summer over there.
I think you're right.
Yeah, they moved it last year for some reason.
Yeah, so look, I don't know. Just KTM. Okay, they've got the Wonder Kid coming through, but this is why you've got to grab these guys. There's only a handful. There's 3 or 4. Marquez is one of them, obviously. That top line riders here who can produce every week. You know,
we're talking. I don't know who I was talking to or listening to some info during the week, but they were saying that Bagnaia is so good on the Sundays because he studies the data on a Saturday night after the race.
Yeah, who was talking about that?
And I thought
heard that as well.
I can't believe what I don't know if there's no luck and bad luck or rotten luck, but hey, look what no one knows what happened to that bike on the Saturday still. What was so wrong with it? But look, the pattern for him, it's like Saturdays he might not even show up, and
He's
everyone
fraud
writes him
watch
off.
on Saturdays.
Yeah, but then everyone writes him off, and then he rocks up on Sunday. And
I don't write him off. Fuck, he's a Sunday man.
No.
He's a Sunday man.
This is what it's showing. But you just can't believe this bad luck keeps captaining him on Saturdays.
I just think he needs a good start. If he has a good start, he has a good race. But other than that, I saw it twice last year maybe where he came through the pack.
Yeah.
I think it was Indonesia maybe.
Yeah, in Australia.
Yeah, there was one there.
Yeah.
There was one there in one of the Asian rounds. He would. I think he missed Q2 as well.
Yeah, and he was 13th.
He was 12th, and then by the end of the first lap, he was 4th or something.
He can be aggressive when he wants to be.
So, Danby, what's your movements this year? You going to any races? Any?
I got some other GPs later on.
Oh, yeah, which one's he on to?
I want to go to the Austrian one.
Oh, that'd be cool. Say good day to Phil Otto for us,
Silverstone.
bro.
Definitely doing I'm doing the triple header, the Phillip Island, Thai, and Sepang. They're 3 weeks in a row.
Oh, that's right, you are too.
Yeah. None of the F1s.
Yeah, right.
Do you stay on the islands for the?
I just usually come down for the day, but last couple of years, because I've got a friend down from Sydney who comes down.
You
he's
get a
never
house or
been.
something
Yeah,
down
we
there?
just stay for the weekend and just do the Saturday. But all these years, I've always gone on the Sunday. Back in the day when it was way about going for the 3 days.
Yeah.
But I just enjoy coming down for the Sunday now. But these last 2 years, I've gone for Saturday, Sunday.
Were you there Saturday, Sunday last year?
Yeah, well, they changed the race, remember? So the main race was... I'll never forget Friday night to change all my plans.
Yeah, that was crazy, wasn't it?
6 o'clock.
Typical Phillip Islands.
You know,
yeah.
I'm like, what?
Pray for
Race
good
is
weather this
Saturday?
Surely we're due for
The
good weather
problem
at Phillip
is
Island this year.
the problem is we always seems to be a month later with seasons now.
I'm telling you, when we used to go more kids from like 2005, I reckon, to maybe 2010, 2011, 2012, I reckon it was pretty good, consistent weather. And
Hot.
for some reason,
It's Phillip Island.
it's like from 2015 onwards, it's just been shit.
Oh, I'm convinced that the seasons have just moved a month later. So summer's now like it's gone the calendar year.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we're like in the middle of like it's at the end of winter now, that race. I just feel like it's
Yeah,
so
I think,
different this year.
Yeah, conspiracy. Trump changed the seasons or something like that.
All for a long period of time, all the riders used to say, we wanted it in March, we wanted it in
Yeah.
March, we wanted it in March.
Well, you see
But then the
testing
F1
now.
was on, so they couldn't do it
Yeah.
because they had the testing in end of Feb or thereabouts, and it was great weather. And sometimes in March as well. There was a couple of years, they actually had it. The testing was the week of, because it was midweek, of the F1. That's why you used to see Rossi at Melbourne F1. Remember that? Remember those days?
no, I don't.
No, right. There's photos of Rossi in the garage with the shoe.
They used to come all the way down to Phillip Island for testing.
Yeah.
I went a couple of times.
That's
jumped the
incredible when you
fence.
think about it. They've got
I
to
know.
get the bikes all the way from Europe down
No,
to...
they were at Sepang. So they went to Sepang they go to Sepang for 3 days.
Yep.
And then 4 days later, they come here.
Yeah, okay. Still a long way.
It was a back-to-back.
But now they're like, oh, we can just test
Asian-
at Jerez and, you know... Like, it's
Well, they still
always...
do Sepang, but they just,
Yeah.
I don't know why they dropped the island, but this only stopped just before COVID.
Yeah.
They stopped it. They still do Sepang, obviously, but for many a year, it was a double header. It was Sepang, Phillip Island.
In March.
Yep.
Yeah, I do remember that as a kid, the
Yep.
testing down there. Imagine that. Imagine just sitting there for 3 days watching the bikes go around. It'd be so
fucking
good.
sick.
It was. I went to...
Do you have to pay tickets or anything to get in?
no,
or
no
is
public's
this-
allowed.
How'd you
No,
get there?
That's another story.
Hey, you said you're opening up tonight.
Yeah,
I
come
jumped,
on.
I want to jump the fence. How
If
simple is
nobody
that?
understands, Mark is the aloof. He gets into these crazy places, and we see him.
Did you get into... Yeah.
We see him pop up in the Mercedes
Yeah.
garage, holding the trophy with Hamilton and Rosberg one
Living
year.
life, boys. Living life.
Did you get into the pits? To the testing?
Yeah, just went in the tunnel.
Yeah.
I got photos. I can show you videos and stuff.
Yeah, right.
Just next to the bikes. It was pretty cool. I got to say.
Oh, that'd be
That
awesome.
was relaxed. That was just really relaxed.
That would have been. Because
That
no
was
one
the
there.
best thing about it. So, yeah, the one at Sepang, I've been to that one a couple of times. That's for the public, but the one at the islands are closed. It's closed off. So, I went down to. There's like a kangaroo enclosure down. If you go down past the side of the track,
Yeah.
Which side?
the far side where gate one is.
Where Siberia is.
yeah,
Yeah, there's
yeah.
a road
no,
there.
not that side. The other side.
Oh.
Near turn one.
Oh, near turn one. There's
right?
a kangaroo enclosure there.
There's some sort of kangaroo.
You mean the go-kart track?
No. There's like
Not anymore.
there is. It's
Nah.
still there.
There's no way there's a
Nah,
kangaroo
there's no
enclosure
kangaroo
there.
It's not a, look. I've got this wrong. It's
There must
not
be like
kangaroo,
6
it's
kangaroos in
something
the paddock
else,
just
right?
eating.
But that was open. Okay, so I went in there and then went
Into-
out the back.
into
and
the
jumped
kangaroos?
fence. No, I can't remember exactly what it was.
Maybe it was
Might have
probably
been
10,
wallabies.
15 years ago.
It's
Yeah.
a touristy thing. I'm telling you, it's still there. Okay,
Yeah, right.
so I went in there.
Yes,
just
it's
went
not
out
for
the
your
back.
parents to suss out.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that one, but go on.
Well, anyway, I'm just telling you, I got in. Then I just
You
went out
got
the-
you got me on. You got me on.
and so I just jumped the fence out the back, and that was that.
Yeah.
It was Rossi's birthday. I'll never forget it.
No way.
Yeah, it was Rossi. It was at Pino's that night celebrating. I was there.
Yeah, that's cool.
It was a.
Because that would be really cool because it would be so relaxed as well.
It'd be such a different vibe.
Yeah.
It was unreal, and the weather was just. I couldn't believe how great the weather
Yeah.
was.
It'd be, imagine them riding those bikes, how good that would have been
Oh, amazing.
on that track. You know?
So okay, so let's get back to this.
Oh, I got
Wait, hang on, go on.
It looks, Pit Bora's come out and basically said that Marquez looks to be staying at Ducati. And it's not realistic for him to be signing at KTM. Do you reckon that's all just smoke and mirrors? Or
I think he's on the money there. Look, you've seen what this guy's done in the last 4 races. They love him.
They love him.
They
Look
love
at
him.
Davide.
They hated
Tardozzi
him. They
with him and
hated
stuff.
him. Now they love him.
Of course they
Just a
love
bit
him
like
now.
you, Tom.
Yeah. I mean, it's amazing. Once you take that Repsol jacket off, I'm all for it.
You know,
Yeah, it's true. I get what you're saying. I think he's staying with Ducati. I put him in as KTM, but I think he's staying. I think he's going to factory Ducati. I reckon they're going to move mountains.
There's 6 sponsors there to cut ties with.
Yeah,
Okay?
I think they're going to work something out.
Look,
Straight cash.
don't get me wrong.
Cash.
Please, I want to see this happen. Right?
Yeah,
I'm just trying to work out how it
does.
happens.
Exactly. And I think James made a really good point last week. It's cash, but the thing is, I don't have to pay that much for Marquez to get him there.
Yeah, he's unders, mate. He's unders at the moment.
I get all that.
Yeah, but if you want to sign Martin, he wants fucking millions of dollars.
Yeah, he's in a different stage of his career.
He'd have offers from Aprilia, he'd have offers from KTM, and you got to at least match offers or get close to it.
Yeah.
To
and
sign,
KTM's going to throw big money at him. Would you rather be, boys, if you're Jorge Martin, just say Ducati was off the table, would you rather be on the Aprilia or would you rather be on the KTM? Now, I put up a post this week and I was probably 70% everyone said
I think the
KTM.
Aprilia is a better bike.
I think the KTM seems like it's a better environment.
Yeah.
I think the KTM's got more potential.
Scary word, but...
They got the resources.
Yeah,
I think they just need it.
This year was supposed to be the year for them.
Yeah, but look at Acosta.
Agreed.
I think you just need a better rider. And I'm sorry, but Jack and Brad aren't up for it. We all know that.
But there's the point. If Acosta didn't come along, this is a long shot, but if he doesn't come along this year, what are we talking about this team in a whole lot?
But MotoGP is still
You're
right, but MotoGP is still relying on a rider.
And this is my next point, right? So I was going to put this to you and Daniel tonight, but if you're starting a new MotoGP team, I want you to pick me 2 riders in Moto2, apart from the American...
Joe Roberts.
Joe Roberts.
Pick me 2 riders right now that you're going to chuck into MotoGP next year.
Sergio Garcia, and I'll still go stick fat with Aldeguer.
No, but he's already... You can't...
Okay, so not Aldeguer.
The point
Sergio Garcia, and I'll go Alonso Lopez.
Okay. So now I want you to replace those 2 Moto2 riders with 2 Moto3 riders in that Moto2 team. So look, you're building for the future, right? You've just plucked 2 guys out of Moto2. Who are the 2 guys in Moto3 right now?
Oh, easy. Just you could pick.
I'm just saying 2, mate.
Yeah,
not 10.
You could pick Holgado and David Alonso.
They're standing out.
David Alonso is probably the biggest.
Yeah, easy. They're due next year.
This is what I'm getting at. It's about fast tracking. This is why Ducati have signed Aldeguer.
Those 2 aren't staying in Moto3 next year.
I know that. Yeah, but of course they're going up. It may be a bit obvious, but it's whatever the top team is in Moto2, they're all the same bikes. I get all that, but it's about progressing up, coming up this curve quicker to get in. You know?
I'm just saying that KTM hasn't had a proven. That's gonna sound so harsh, but they haven't had a proven proper gem rider on their motorcycle.
It was supposed to be Binder, mate.
And I know it's supposed to be Binder, but it's not him. And I don't know if Aprilia is, I guess, the same to a degree. But if you get a Marquez or a Martin or whatever on that KTM, like Pedro Acosta is already doing amazing. He even crashes better than everyone else. It's a different story, and it's probably a different story on the Aprilia as well. But I think that KTM is going to be, if you have that right rider on there, and I think Martin can be. They'll be fighting for a world title. I'm telling you,
100%.
Who would you, Martin? Would you rather see him on Aprilia next year or a KTM next year?
KTM.
I think I'd rather see him on Aprilia.
Okay, I like it.
I think it'd be interesting to see what a rider of his capability can do.
The Aprilia wouldn't suit him as much as a KTM because the KTM is a more aggressive bike. The Aprilia is a lot more smooth flowing. It would suit like Rins or Quartararo.
It does. It just looks so. And then again,
that's where Quartararo should have gone.
Back to Fabio. I'm still muffed by that decision. But
money talks, bro.
But just on him, he showed something last week there. He was running behind that top 6 there. He was 6, wasn't he, at one point?
Well, Yamaha, as you said, has just proven that little. They've just proven a little bit more.
There's a small bit of hope coming
I feel
through.
like Honda's still trying. They just haven't found what they've needed to find. You know,
they're in a fucking world of hurt.
They're in a world of hurt.
Martin,
so we're going to talk about Marine in that.
Yeah,
right?
let's talk about Marine.
40 seconds behind the leader. I mean, it's crazy.
10 seconds behind Rins.
I mean, where do you start?
So he wants out after 6 races.
I'm with you, Tom. That's just.
I just don't agree with it. Like he made the decision. He knew it was going to be tough.
Stick it out for the year.
Like, what did you think you were going to go for a winning? You're going to a winning team.
Well, I thought that after the second half of the season, bro. Come on.
Yeah, well, true, but yeah, I don't get where he's coming from. He looks like he's just not even giving it a crack. I mean, how of his capabilities, how is he finishing so far behind the other Honda riders as well?
Yeah, I
I
don't
mean,
know.
Nakagami's been in for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I know. Zarko. No, a better comparison is Zarko.
Well, Zarko by like 20 seconds, you know, like it's crazy.
That's a mental thing right there.
Mir's a mental thing as well. He's just
Well, talk of him retiring, isn't there?
yeah. Well, he just
But
Now, just on that, Trackhouse.
yeah,
Right? 2 new riders. Okay. Who are you getting there?
So you get Joe Roberts, obviously.
Yeah.
Joe Roberts,
Now,
Trackhouse.
Brivio, he's trying to get the 2 ex-Suzuki guys that are on the Honda at the moment. Sorry, Mir and
Rins.
Rins not on the...
Yeah, and Marini. Marini is apparently being approached or trying to talk to because the ties with Davide. Davide Brugge's got
But
ties
that's
with everyone.
where that would make sense. That would make sense for Marini, and that would be good for him to go on that bike.
Yeah, but he shouldn't.
But what about
Stick
Oliveira?
it out. Fuck Oliveira,
He
man.
goes to
He's
Pramac,
fucking
doesn't he?
useless. Yeah,
So who goes
stick
to,
him on the Yamaha.
So what about
Hey,
Pramac?
fuck, there's so many changes next year.
This is
Yeah.
it.
There is so many changes. It's
I've
fucking
never
crazy.
seen anything like it.
Yeah.
I think if this Pramac Yamaha thing happens, this whole thing turns upside down because there's 2 more seats.
There's no team that's going to stay the same.
No, I'm just saying if Pramac stays with Ducati, it's a bit more aligned to
Yeah,
what's going to
yeah.
happen. Bastian will
Yeah.
slot in back there. They can put Aldegarde there with there's a lot more room to.
You got Digier as well.
Well, this is the thing, right? But if the Pramac is a Yamaha, well, straight up, I'll ask you who's going there. I'll put Oliveira and Digi. I'll put them 2 on the Pramac.
Yeah, it's a fair bet. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a fair.
But it just opens it right up, doesn't it? This Pramac decision.
That's unfortunate for D'Antonio though.
Look, the guy was out of racing, period, and he's managed to score a rider
Yeah, he's
at
doing pretty good.
VR46, and he was doing pretty good there for a couple of races, and he's obviously beat Bezzi a couple of times, but I think he just gets too hot-headed with he just still can't accept Marquez took his seat because he rides like a banana every time Marquez comes near him.
So Marini, HRC, he should stick it out for 2 years though, yeah, or at least a year.
At least a year. I don't.
His head's not. What I'm trying to say is his head's not
Nah,
in it. If
it's
he's
not.
already trying to get out now, then Honda. This is not what Honda need. They need someone that's like, all right. But I think they all come in like that, and they all just get jaded. Like
every single one.
It's true,
Me
isn't it?
and
Polar Spargo.
Paul Espargaro.
Who
List goes
who
on.
was on the Repsol last year? Me and Marquez, obviously.
But you're right.
They even jaded Mark Marquez for fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's crazy. And the thing is, no one succeeded on that bike at all, except for Mark Marquez in the last 10 years.
Yeah, but
Even Cheeseburger
but hang
couldn't.
on. The belief was that okay, he's not here anymore. They'll start listening to us and build the bike we want.
Yeah,
Well, now
yeah,
we're looking
yeah.
at it. It's still
They're
a bucket
only-
of shit.
They've had enough years though. They've had 4 years of it now.
They've just unfortunately the Japanese they've just got it so wrong. They just cannot get this formula right in regard to the aero, all
Well-
these devices.
Are we too harsh, Danby? The 6 races in.
I don't think we've been harsh at all. You just said they've been.
Nah,
they're
he's fucking
losing
nowhere.
by more. They had a stat the other day.
No,
that
not on Marini, just on
Oh.
Honda.
No,
Yeah.
there was some stat one of those races that I think it was Qatar. Qatar was, I think, 12 or 13 seconds faster than this race last
Yeah.
year, the sprint race.
Yeah.
And it's only 12 laps. So they were a second a lap faster, and yet Honda only made up 3/4 of a second in that time.
And they got they got more testing time. Like they tested a Magello
Yeah, they
last
did.
week, so we'll see if anything comes from that. But
I don't think so.
I don't know. It's just Ducati Cup, isn't it?
Yeah.
As I said.
Where does what should Juan Mir do?
Retire.
That's a rough.
That's sad.
man.
That's a sad. That's
Nah, he's too good.
Go back to Moto 2.
Fucking Christ.
Has a world champion ever gone back to Moto 2?
Nah.
That's
yeah,
a great question.
I think
Like a
didn't Rabat? He
No,
won.
Shit,
no,
you ain't a
he
fucking-
hasn't won a
yeah.
MotoGP world championship
No.
though. Did?
No, but there's been riders.
Yeah, but
Binder,
the world
Binder
champ-
went back down.
No.
He-
Well, you just asked me if
No, he
someone-
said world
MotoGP
champion. He said world
MotoGP
Sorry,
champion.
mate.
world
Sorry,
champion.
champion.
Yeah.
Sorry, no.
Binder,
Did
Darren Binder can't even be a world champion of the MotoGP game.
Did someone went down though? Did they?
Yeah, few people have.
There's a
Tony
few.
Elias has gone up and
Elias
went
was
back
one, that's another
down.
one.
Binder's gone back down.
Darren Binder.
I think Carol Abraham went back down for a season. Anthony West went back down. Been a few. So where does Juan Mir go though?
I don't know, bro. Everyone's going somewhere. So
I think his best bet is Trackhouse.
I think so. I think Brivio was all he can to get him across.
Yeah.
but is he too mentally fucked?
No, this is the scars.
That's
is
the scars.
isn't it?
It's
Yeah,
It's
he's
just-
got PTSD, RV style.
He's got no
ins-
confidence at all.
It's incineration, isn't it? Not
No.
radiation. It's just the radiation comes from that Honda once you've been on it.
I know. It
So
just, it just
Repsol
ruins
Honda
you.
next year is going to be Oliveira and
Jack Miller.
That's not even funny. It's not.
That could be it, couldn't
That's
it?
not even funny.
But Jack Miller's that's his best bet.
Yeah, that's what he should do.
But then who signs for Gas? That's the other thing.
Oh, that
You can't leave fucking Augusto Fernandez.
You'd have Binder on a gas.
Or you put
You
you
would
put
have
Garcia up there.
yeah.
He races for
We've
Gas
spent
Moto too,
about
doesn't he?
25
No, he's
minutes
supposed to
here on
screw
America
up.
around about 2025.
Yeah, there's
It's
so
crazy.
many. There's so many. I'm already confused.
So we've done a prediction for 2025. As you would know, Danby being number one ticket holder.
Yeah.
It's going to be really interesting to see who's actually got the most amount of green ticks by the end, by when everyone's signed.
Yeah, but
well,
if-
the new team might be
Yeah, but
coming
hang
in
on.
to change everything.
I remember watching that episode, guys, and that was all before this Pramac Yamaha thing.
Yeah,
it
that's
was
what I'm
it was in
saying, yeah.
talks.
So
It was
that's
in
why,
talks,
that'll just throw everything out.
yeah,
So
then everything's cooked if that's the case.
I did want to make mention of that race in France on the qualifying when Marquez. Did you see how the front washed out in qualifying and he saved it?
Yeah.
And they were talking the next day about how dangerous. Like that was the aero. That was the aero wash from. I think it was rims in front of him at high speed, and just how dangerous that could have been.
It is super dangerous. You see them get sucked into the aero at the end of the end of the straight and all that sort of thing as well. You looked at Bezecchi a couple of years back at Silverstone, really dangerous accident. They've got to do something, and I think they are obviously
With the new regs,
they are
you know,
addressing
yeah.
that.
What do you think of the new regs? 500cc apparently.
Oh no!
Well, one of our hot takes.
400. Yeah, 500. Yeah, 500. I think they could have gone a bit further with it.
I think it should have been harsher on aero. And
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we're all
not
saying.
the
This is what
engine
we're all
size.
saying. And the other thing I was surprised about is that why don't they just do something with the tyres as well? You know, if you want to slow these bikes down, which
Yeah.
is what the aim is,
Like semi slicks or something.
no, just change the compounds or something. Put the pressure on Michelin. Or, it is Michelin.
Michelin, yeah.
I get mixed up with the super bikes. To just come up with a slower tyre, you know, or different compound, different.
Do you reckon
carcass.
Pirelli's going to make a play to take over? I heard that.
I don't know. They're happy doing the super bike thing, aren't they?
Well, they've gone
No.
into Moto 3 and Moto 2.
Are they? Okay. Well,
Yeah.
then maybe it's coming.
That's why Arbolino's going shit house because he can't get used to that new
Not
tyre.
surprised. Not surprised.
You know? Sergio
surprised.
Garcia, mate, I'm telling you, he's a star. He's one to watch out. Everyone's looking at Fermin Aldeguer. Sergio Garcia is leading the title, second year in. Always takes 3 or 4 years we've talked about this nauseum.
Yeah.
He's a star, mate.
So going forward, is Martin the hot favourite for this championship? We've still got
Yeah,
heaps of
definitely.
races to
He's
go.
just so good in the sprint.
Oh, mate, how can you tell? It could be Pecco or it could
well,
be
no,
Marquez.
I'm not saying 100%, but is there more money on him or not?
It's got to be the most impressive race you've seen from him at
Nah,
On
my
weekend, he
money's,
did the double.
Yeah, and he was following for that many laps.
did too.
You know,
my money's Pecco. Still.
Yeah. Well,
I think Martin just
mentally.
mentally. We talk about mental, and if it's either he gets ahead, I just think Pecco's just he's just so dialed in. I just think mentally.
Second
he's-
half of the season as well, he's always good.
Yeah, and it's where you see that charge for the title. That's where you see titles lost that second half of
Yeah.
the season these days. I just don't know if I don't know, man.
I think it was a big weekend for Martin. He showed some
He needed it
mental
after
strength
crashing.
there, yeah. But deliberately sat behind for the whole race.
Yeah.
And then once that board came out that Marquez was closing, he said, well, I better make this move now as I'm going to finish third.
Super impressive. Super
and
impressive.
he did it clean. And okay, the
Yeah.
first one, that's what Pecco's just so hard to pass. He's just because he's so
Good
on
the
the
brakes.
limit everywhere that you know you've got to get it right. And you know we saw Marquez the race before obviously have 2 goes and not get it right. But I don't know. Just I think I think that race of Martin's he's come of age a little bit. But you know, like let's try it down the road next week just as much.
Yeah, I know. He's still on fraud watch for me with that.
Is he really?
Mentally,
I don't know.
mentally he is.
I don't know. I
No,
thought
he's
the
still
Sunday
crashing it.
race-
He's made a turn for me.
I think so. The Sunday race for me was a turn.
You
Yeah.
all said that with Vinales.
But we haven't seen him do that before. We haven't seen him sit
He
behind
had every
all
right
race.
to crash.
True.
He had every right to crash
True.
trying to pass Pecco.
He had some moments in the last couple of laps, but I think he all in all
Because
was a
he's
great
waiting for their
performance.
counter attack. That's what you're waiting for.
Yeah.
You know, when you pass a guy like Pecco, You're just waiting for that counter attack.
He does it. He always does that. And that move where he just cuts back on the inside. You saw it on Marquez and Jerez. It's just that's his new trademark, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but look, it's out of those two still, surely. And maybe can Marquez give these guys a run?
If he was on a 2024 bike, I think he's right in the money. But
Yeah, but I heard a little bit told me he's getting the updates Pecco's getting
okay, there you go.
Who?
from that test last week.
Marquez. Yeah, I've heard that as well.
You have it too. There you
Yeah.
go.
Tadotzi called me.
Is that right?
Yeah,
No, but no, let's
Just a beer.
Oh, wrong number.
I think if Marquez wins 2 races in a row somehow, then he's in this.
yeah,
He's
it's
in this. 'Cause
a
that psychological thing will just all
massive-
come to the
He's
fore.
already in it, I reckon.
probably the biggest weekend of sport coming up as well. We've got Barcelona,
Yeah.
we've got Monaco,
Monaco
and
final.
the Indy 500.
Oh wow, there you go.
Yeah, we've got plus. We've got Dreamtime at the G. Dave Shaw's
Oh,
coming
mate,
down.
Aren't you coaching?
No, I'm lacing up. Richmond's got
You're
no
running out.
players.
That's
I'm
right.
running
You're
out.
kicking the running goal. You're kicking the winning goal.
25 injured players or something. It's
We're struggling to field team this week.
that's crazy.
You'll be
Yeah.
out there.
We need a good
Get out there
percentage.
on the ball.
We need a
forward
good
pocket.
percentage boost. So I'm
This will
happy
be
about that.
this will be one you'll lose.
Super, and Scott McLaughlin pole.
I
in
saw
Indy.
that this morning.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
That is awesome.
Really interesting. And for him to come in and get pole on an oval track with he's more capable in the street tracks, super impressive and looking forward to that.
That's
It's gonna be a
awesome.
massive weekend. My goodness.
That's really exciting. Reports Kazakhstan taking over India this year. I said this to you, Danby. No one cares about India. There was 10 people there last year.
Oh, more than that. It was all the visa bullshit.
But who cares about Kazakhstan though either?
True.
I didn't buy the flooding story. Okay.
What do you think's going on?
I
Borat
don't
was
know, I
taken.
just like
Nah.
they've just found every excuse for this race not to happen. They keep saying it's going to happen, and everyone laughs at it. But this one looked like it was going to happen because they started contacting all the marshals at Sepang. They got in touch with the Sepang people to send them over to help run it.
That's probably a good
Yeah,
idea
right.
because
So
the
that was
Indian,
that was the positive
the
sign
Indian
that was going to
stewards had
happen.
jeans on and shit.
Yeah, jeans
last year.
and sandals.
No comment.
Yeah. And they got to fit it in somewhere. They're determined to fit this Kazakhstan race. I just don't know where they fit it in.
Oh, they'll do it for 1 year.
Get
and they'll be
rid
done.
of
It'll be like India.
Get rid of India.
Yeah.
Fuck it off. That's a shit Grand Prix. You still need an atmosphere. I'm telling you.
Not a bad track though. I like the track.
Yeah, well, look at the French national anthem. You already spoke about it. That was amazing.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, it
You
was.
know, I couldn't stop laughing at the Michelin man standing there with the flag. He just looked like a statue.
Hey, is with Liberty Media taking over Danby, is there going to be more American circuits coming back into the MotoGP
I don't
calendar?
think so. They'll try and get one more in somewhere, but where? You can't do Laguna Seca.
I reckon they'll have.
Well, they've got Indy to fuck off.
I reckon Daytona will come back. Sorry, Indianapolis. Indianapolis.
Yeah, no, look,
shit,
nah, but look,
shit circuit.
as shit as it was, had some good races
Yeah,
there.
it did.
Okay, Lorenzo Marquez was a good battle there.
Fuck, that's old school.
Yeah,
They wouldn't go back to Laguna.
mate, did Moto 2, Moto 3 ever go there while they were there?
Yeah,
no.
So how
No,
you going to, if they never got there back then, how the fuck do you fit all three of them
What about
in
like
now?
Watkins Glen? Have you?
Nah, they're not bike tracks, mate. Even like Barbara Raceway,
What's that other one? Moto America, whatever it's
nah,
called.
Road America's
Road
not
America.
a bike track. That's not a bike track. There's another one
There's
in
not a lot of options, is there?
Milwaukee.
I'm sure
There's
there
another
is.
one
I'm
in
sure there
Wisconsin
is.
somewhere.
There is a
It's America for fuck's
At
sake.
Daytona, they do have they have the Daytona.
But mate, these would not pass the safety.
Nah, because you got
standards.
all the
There's just no
there's no
way.
runoff on the oval side.
Okay.
You're right.
You know, there's just no way. But I think you're right. I think the Americans will try and squeeze another race in somewhere. Don't know where. On the West Coast, I don't know where, but
I reckon they'll fit some. There'll be a track there somewhere. I'm telling you, or they'll build it. The Americans,
yeah,
they're
but
rich.
you either get an existing one and spend a fortune upgrading it to the safety standard, or you build a brand new one. And
Do
who's-
that to
who's-
Laguna. We all want it.
Yeah,
Imagine 50 Moto 3 bikes going through the corkscrew.
But there was
Oh my God.
there's issues with sound, isn't there? Like
Yeah, fucking Californian American fucking greenies, man. Seriously, fuck.
yeah,
That's
there's-
half their problem.
They can't. Yeah, it's like they got a sound curfew or some
Oh
crap.
my god. I don't even know if Laguna has it's not even like it has that much runoff, to be honest.
nah. Again, that wouldn't pass the safety
I don't
standards.
think it
now.
would these
No
days.
chance.
Yeah, like that cork.
No chance.
Before the corkscrew, there's not a lot of runoff there.
You know?
And they're going up hot into a
when were they there
blind
last?
crest.
I think they were there last in 2009.
Nah, 13. Marquez.
Was it 13? Okay,
Marquez
sorry, you won
there.
that first year. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, okay, how much faster are the bikes now?
Yeah,
that's
that's
10
right.
years ago.
With aero.
True.
No,
So-
there's no way. They'd have to change it. They won't. Yeah, you're right. It won't happen, but I'm just dreaming.
I'd love to have it there. I'll take Indy. I'll take a race back at Indy.
I think
they've
so.
because they've changed the circuit again since then.
They'd have to. That's the only place I could think of, to be honest.
I'm sure there's something.
It's got to have a bit of history about it, though. You can't just like.
Well, that's why they went to Indy because Indy's Indy.
Indy's Indy,
They've,
yeah.
they've got NASCAR there. They've had everything at Indy.
Yeah,
You know, and the people go. The locals love it. You know.
that would be cool. Danby, what's your? We won't say ours, but who are you looking? Who you got for your top three for Barcelona and Monaco?
Well, it's always Max at Monaco. No one's beating him there. Well, I'll say Lando, definitely. Lando, you've got to put Lando on this podium every race now. Even if the car's not good enough, he's shown the difference.
I think Piastri. I really think he's going to go well in Monaco.
Yeah, that's what I
I
think.
hope he does. But please, I like Piastri, but until he can beat Lando consistently for a couple of races in a row,
Doesn't
in
matter
quali-
though. But it doesn't matter at Monaco though. He'll qualify
No, I
second
know- I know
and he'll
that.
finish second.
Yeah, okay, that's
You
true.
know what I mean? There's no passing
Okay,
on
you're
that
right.
track.
Okay, so maybe we'll get the quality lap on him there. But I just think going forward, Lando, you've got to put him in the podium every weekend, just about. Maybe one of the Ferraris.
Okay.
You know, for the F1. But look, for Barcelona, this isn't a Marquez track. This is one of his worst tracks.
Yeah,
So if somehow he fires up here, it'll be pretty crazy.
So what's your 1, 2, 3? I want 1, 2, 3, Danby.
I'll
Don't give me a
I'll
political
say
answer.
Pecco, Martin, and Marquez. There you go.
Oh, the three. Okay, there you go. The top three boys.
When's Pecco going to crash? Is he going to crash on a Sunday?
I think if he loses more ground, then he might see some because this is why people still question some of his achievement because when he's behind he gets desperate. We've seen it.
He came back against Quattararo. Yeah, he was on a Yamaha, but still.
Yeah, but I'm talking about races like that one at Le Mans last year with Vinales. Trying to pass around the outside. That pass was never on.
Yeah.
The one of Quattararo at Motegi for 1 point.
I love it. I fucking love it.
For 1 point.
Yeah.
The Portimao one, that wasn't. I don't know. To me, that was on him. Marquez had that corner.
Fair enough.
Fair
enough.
Look, the guy of all of them, he can't handle being overtaken. I mean, they all hate it, but to me, he struggles the most. He has to get back straight away. Even the one at Jerez there on Bezecchi with Binder and Bezecchi, that came too late in there. He was trying to blame Binder for it, but where was Binder supposed to go?
I need to know before we finish this pod, what's your favourite race of all time, MotoGP /500s?
Oh, I reckon the Phillip Island 2017.
Was that when the Seagull?
The Seagull.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the one when Marquez was fourth at the start of the last lap.
Yeah, that was
Won.
fucking incredible.
I
We
mean,
watched
that- no,
we
but-
watched
but
that on
given-
Main Straight, didn't we?
But given, Lorenzo.
No, 2015 that was.
Main Straight.
Was it 15?
Fucking
Was it?
Main
2015?
Straight fans,
Sorry.
unfortunately
Yeah.
for
Oh,
us.
you're right. It was 15.
We watched it on the
Yeah.
big screen
Sorry.
that day.
Yeah.
Yeah, the four. I mean, you had. I think you had Inoni. Was it Inoni or
Yeah,
Di Biozzi
Inoni
on the
Giannoni
Ducati?
on the
Ducati.
Duke.
Rossi and Lorenzo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you had the fastest bike on the track was a Ducati, and those other three guns or greats, whatever you call it. F1.
I just said MotoGP, but if you want to give me
You
F1,
said
that's
both,
cool.
didn't you?
Actually, I'm interested in the F1. What's your favourite race of all time F1? I don't mind. But
I still reckon Suzuka 2005 because
Kimi Raikkonen. Oh, Kimi
yeah, but
Raikkonen.
you had V10 engines,
Yeah.
unreal track. You had the three best drivers at the back: the Shu, Kimi, and Montoya, all at the back. Oh, sorry, Alonso. Sorry, all starting at the back that day, and they all came through. And you had a last lap pass.
Will they ever go back to not a V10, but just a louder engine?
There was just Tom.
They've been talking about it forever,
There
though.
was one Tom,
Tom.
2 days ago. Well, you were the one that mentioned it yesterday. That they're going to for 2030. They want to
2030?
Because they're trialling the sustainable fuels, see how
Yeah.
it goes. If it goes well, they'll go back to big engines. And that's where I think the road cars will go back to as well. That's my opinion.
I think the scary thing for Formula One, they've got to be careful not to get too electric and get too close to Formula E, which it seems like it's heading that way. This is why
Boost
they've got
buttons
to
and shit.
they've got to keep that differential because you don't want it. We can't be having the premium motorsport. It's silly enough as it is that the F2s and the F3s are louder than the F1s. We were there this year.
You can have
Melbourne?
you can have a conversation during an F1 race.
Yeah. And it doesn't sound exciting.
I'm telling you, the sound is half of it.
It's nearly all. Mate,
It's
more
almost
than
all
half.
of it. Yeah.
Come on.
How excited does everyone get when the Benetton rolls out?
I think I sent you something yesterday with Mick
Yeah.
doing those laps at Mugello.
Yeah,
Like that,
yeah.
that was just crazy.
Yeah, and there's a race.
In his
There's a
dad's
video.
car, this was in his dad's
There's a
car.
video going around of the restart at Indianapolis.
Oh, yes.
Schumacher and
yes,
Barrichello,
yes,
and the
yes.
restart after the safety car. And
I've
fuck.
seen
We
that.
should put that up.
Oh, the
That's a
sound
good-
is just
that's a
like
good
going down
post.
the back.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness,
That
it is
bank turn.
crazy. It wouldn't be 2005 because they didn't race 2005, did they?
I was
They
there.
all put
I was
into.
there I was here for that.
You were there for
I was
that.
there.
That's a
That
piece
was
of
Father's
history.
Day. That was Father's Day in America.
Was that the tyre issue?
Yeah,
Yes,
Michelin.
yeah.
Yeah.
that was just crazy.
So was it just Bridgies that went out?
Yeah, the six.
Yep.
To the Jordans, the Minanis, and the Ferraris. I remember I woke up early for that. I woke up at 6 a.m.
it was
Me and my
that
old
was
man,
just-
and we the race starts with like there's six, and he turns it off. Only race I've never watched.
Really?
Yep.
Why'd you turn it off?
Oh,
what are you
because-
watching? I was
yeah.
there. And they were like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, you would have sunk a couple of Coors Lights or what? Yeah.
I was in the Red Bull suite with Danny Sullivan as a guest.
Oh, there you go.
So
It's all about who you know, eh?
yeah, well, I was friends with the MD of Red Bull America, so he scored us a
There you go.
gig.
Well, don't forget about us if
A
you get
gig.
a couple of sneaky
Yeah.
tickets to that again.
Yeah, but that day there, like the crowd was in shock for first two laps. My mates in Australia were messaging me saying that this was going to happen.
Well, the Americans rocked up for NASCAR and they got Formula One, I heard, that day.
Yeah, every chance. And they were just in silent for the first two laps.
And they
In
booed-
shock,
they would've been
in shock. And then they
boos.
started booing, and then they started throwing shit on the track.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah,
So I'm guessing Ferrari went 1-2 that day.
yeah, they did. But
Yeah.
it was
Who
just
came third? Heinz Harold?
who cares? That was one of the Jordans. But
So they only had six
cars,
Bridgestones
mate. Yep.
on the grid.
yeah.
Yep.
What was wrong with the Michelins?
Well, they couldn't.
Rolf
they-
Schumacher had a big accident
Yeah.
in quali, and they couldn't guarantee it wouldn't happen again.
Oh, wow.
So the
Because of
team,
that banked corner.
yeah,
that's
the
a big
tyre
thing.
was.
he
under
went to
that-
hospital and all
under
sorts
that-
of stuff.
Yeah.
fuck.
So the tyre under that stress was exploded.
Yeah.
Like, it just
Wow.
couldn't hold.
Isn't that
and so
incredible?
they tried to ship because the only other circuit that had that corner was the Barcelona. Like this turn 3 at Barcelona
Turn,
has a turn
yeah.
3, that long right hander.
Yeah.
So they tried to ship those tyres over as a substitute. That didn't get off. Didn't happen.
No, they also tried to put a chicane in as
yeah,
well.
but then look,
it didn't work.
this.
In Barcelona?
No, in
Indy.
Indy.
So look, there was a chance for that race to happen, but Max Mosley was just being a right raw fucking. Won't say it.
You can. You only can have one. though.
And yeah, they just should have made that race happen. I think you had 7 engine manufacturers at peak sponsorship, biggest market in the world, the US market. Just make that race happen somewhere. Put a chicane in and get a great race for the crowd because that's when it started going downhill for a long time. That was the peg in the sand moment for Formula One, 05 Indy, when it went down. It went down for a while after that, and then it's come back up since. But
Of course.
because they started pulling out, it just
Yeah, you're right with that. It was a bit of a lie in the sand moment for Formula One.
Danby, it's been a pleasure, mate.
Yeah, guys, thanks for having me on again, and yeah, all good.
Thanks.
All right.
Thank you. Thank you for coming
Who's
on.
getting that Ducati seat, James?
Oh, we'll have to have another fucking episode on it. See you guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.